everybody that helped out with today's show. Big time show with Adara as well.
Big time.
Some of those breaking news. So, all right. Thank you so much to everybody. Let's go over to the big show. It is Sharif and Obi. We'll check you at 2 p.m. Ciao.
You need the mic?
That over here is your boy Obi. We got Dewey. We got the Corleone family. I like that. I like the Corleone family as well. Shout out to everybody coming in from the other side as well. We got two chats that are going right now. They seem to both be going. All right. There we go. We got Motivation Station. We got Brian FR. Shout out to my main man, ADL. Adam Deluxe. Shout out to Tisha. Small Cap Gapper. Trader Extraordinaire. Shout out to Tisha Perkins. We got Jacques. We got, again, Patrick Irving. I was going to say the Corleone family again. We got Frank Handley, Hugo Garcia, Vinay Menon. How about Motivation Station? Saul G. Shout out to Shazin. Covalence, as opposed to those covalent bonds, Obi, that we learned about in grade 11 chemistry? Grade 10 or grade 11, yeah. You're probably ahead of me. There, shout out to Take Profits, Foo. I like that one. Ronaldo, Black, Hawk, JP, Andreas, we got Ashwin, and the world's greatest mod. He is Bears versus Bulls. Are we ready to go?
Yes, we are. Thank you very much. Welcome, everybody.
So he is the one. He is the one.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm the one, but all I'm trying to do is.
What are we doing on Friday?
What are we doing on Friday? Oh boy. Do you know what's happening Friday?
Well, let me know. The reason I'm calling you the one is because of what we're celebrating on Friday.
Yeah.
Tell everybody what we're doing.
So again, long time coming. It's been many months. I know if you guys were around. When was it? May of last year. I graduated the program here that we had. Again, it's I think it's a retired program. We don't really run that program anymore, but was pretty difficult and made it slowly but steadily. I always say slow is smooth, smooth is fast, and that definitely was a great example of that. But yeah, no, Friday is finally the graduation party.
So just explain it to everybody. So when someone grads here, the firm earmarks money. We can go out. We celebrate for the person. We invite a lot of the older traders, some of the traders that are no longer on the floor because of the campus program, everything's online. They're all going to be coming in. So needless to say, it's going to be an S show.
Going to be
I can't take liberties like the Katina man, but it's going to be show. It's going to be good.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. No, it'll be. I think it'll be fun. You know, we're gonna have a lot of
alcohol.
Well, yeah. A lot of alcohol, a lot of missed faces around here as well. I'm gonna get to see some old friends as well. Gonna be a good time. Some drinks and some talk. Cocktail hour after work, and then maybe some dinner and drinks as well. A little partying afterwards as well. I got the reservations down for the spot, so I've been talking to them as well. So it'll be good. Hopefully, I could invite you all as well. But you know.
We got a lesson. You got obviously some trades on the day. Anything you want to cover before we start?
No, I think I traded a little bit of an XPEV, took some scalps on XPEV, and I am currently still just in a bit of a runner on Bud, Anheuser Bud. So I don't know, does anybody still drink Bud Light? I don't know, but that the ticker is definitely getting a little sloshed.
You went there, eh?
As of right now.
You went there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it off camera, but you went there live.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
I'll do it live.
Shout out to Bud Light. Great company. I'm going to talk about my trade super quick here. I had an entry into SMCI, and I literally caught the top and the bottom wick, so I'm quite proud of this trade. 53.80 low there. I took everything out at 54.91. So this one is still putting in higher lows. I'm still quite interested with SMCI as a trade if it can break and hold above 55. As you saw there, where that triangle 55 did reject. on SMCI, but we are putting in higher lows. 53.80 area low, barely a 54 low. Now we're talking about 54.20 low. So it's doing the dance with absolutely no underwear or pants with the volume weighted average price right now. A little above, a little below. We'll get to this one though. It is in play. It's up a light 19.5%. It's only done 70 million shares, and I'm being facetious, of course, as I typically am. Sarcasm is my second language. Let's get down to business, though. We are talking about these chart patterns today. We're talking about the rounded bottom. Where is Big Smile at when you need him? He was there yesterday. Shout out to Big Smile. So a rounding bottom essentially is a chart pattern characterized by a series of price movements that graphically form the shape of the letter U. Rounded bottoms are found at the end of an extended downtrend and signify essentially a reversal in long-term price movements, okay? So this pattern's time frame can vary from several weeks to several years, okay? If you haven't seen what a rounded bottom looks like in several years, pull up the chart on gold, all right? That's all I gotta say there. Have a look at what a rounded bottom looks like from over a period of years. Look at gold's chart. So volume and price will ideally move in tandem in this shape, and volume confirms the price action. Let's get right down to business. Let's start by talking about how to understand these rounded bottoms. So we talked about the U-shaped pattern. So the rounding bottom gets its name from its distinct U-shaped appearance on the price chart. Formation process, though, it emerges after, as I mentioned, an extended downtrend. The price action declines steadily in this shape, reaching a low point, and then it begins to gradually that is, ascend in a curved manner resembling a bowl shape. And this is exactly what it looks like, okay? So a long period of down, and then we kind of bottom out, and then we either make, the same low, we defend the same low, or like as this pattern shows over here, we start making incrementally higher lows to kind of give that U shape look, that bowl formation. So that's what it looks like. So why does the rounded bottom matter? Why is it such an important? Chart pattern?
Boy.
What's up?
I just said, oh boy.
Why does the
it so
rounded
important?
bottom matter? Yes. Yeah. Well,
of course
I know you are a bottom connoisseur.
No, this is. I think this is a very, very important concept. I don't mean to interrupt you, but
like chart patterns.
No,
or
rounding. Why they matter? I think they show up very significantly. Again, you mentioned gold.
I can tell if you're being serious.
No, I'm being dead serious. Like Carvana as well. We can talk about Carvana. Like there are some beautiful rounded bottoms on a lot of these tickers that kind of lead to much, much bigger and aggressive moves. And yeah, if you can look out for them, you can definitely capitalize on those opportunities. Carvana is a textbook example. You go to the weekly. On Carvana right there. Beautiful. Look at that. Look at that rounded bottom. It even gives you a nice, look at that, 1, 2 bounce.
And the higher lows.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the beautiful part.
This is a textbook example of a rounded bottom.
Great call. I didn't even know that one existed on here. Thank you for pointing that out. And we're getting a bit of a cup and handle here, so we'll talk about a little bit that after. Yeah. Okay. So let's keep talking over here. So the reason why it matters is it's a reversal signal. So the rounded bottoms act as potential trend reversal signals, suggesting to you a shift from a downtrend, as you just saw on the Carvana chart there, to an uptrend. But it also shows you that there is a change and a shift in the sentiment. So their appearance indicates a potential inflection point where buyers start accumulating the asset, overpowering the sellers who dominated in the downtrend. So how do you identify these rounded bottoms? Like, what's the first order of business here? Step number one, you want to confirm the downtrend. So the first step is to identify a clear downtrend that was already in place. Or, you can use trend lines, you can use moving averages, or you can just look at the price action and look for lower lows and lower highs. Then, step number two, you're starting to look for that curved bottom. So you saw the downtrend, so it was moving down and to the right. Now you're looking for that curved shape, the curved bottom. So you're looking for the price action to reach a low point and then slowly curve upwards. This curved bottom, unlike the V-shaped retracement, this suggests a period of consolidation and potentially buying pressure emerging. And then there's a neckline formation. This is where it gets a little subjective right here. So as the price climbs, it faces resistance at specific price levels. This level roughly corresponds to the horizontal line at the top of the rounded bottom. It's called the neckline. So let's do our due diligence over here. Let's have a look at the weekly on Carvana, see where we can kind of glean the neckline. So this is the weekly on it. So where would you say, Ob, the neckline is on something like this? There's a $300 level there that we had trouble with back in January of 21. We did clear it, but not for that long. And look at this, Ob. We got into that 300 and rejected. So I'd submit to you that if I was looking for a neckline on this rounded bottom, 300 looks good to me here. It's not, this is very subjective. Let's be honest about it.
Yeah.
I see 300, you see 275, Sean sees 350, whatever it is, right? But we make educated guesses.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that's in and around that area, right? It's a $300 ticker. You got to give or take a few points, and I think giving or taking 15 to 20 points for determining where that area might be, I think that's more than fair. So yeah, I'd say in and around that 300 definitely sounds about right there.
All right. Sounds good. Let's keep going on, baby. So this is what we were just talking about, the neckline right there. So again, a bit of a subjective component to these rounded bottoms. Nobody's going to say, oh, I don't see higher highs and higher lows. That's not subjective. That's objective. It's either a higher high or a higher low, or it's not, right? So whereas the 300, you know, it could be the neckline, it might not be. And this is kind of the same thing over here. This is showing you how to target and use the neckline as the measured move to take profits, but we'll talk a little bit about that in a second. So we talked about how to identify these rounded bottoms. Let's talk about how to trade these rounded bottoms. What's the move here? So number one, you're waiting for a breakout above the neckline. So the key signal is a decisive break above that neckline with a closing price definitively higher than the resistance level. This is suggesting to you, when that happens, a potential trend reversal. So again, just to kind of show, you'd be getting long, according to the book, above the break of the neckline. Now, I have to stop here because that's not where I would go long. You don't just see the rounded bottom all of a sudden once it breaks through the neckline. You can already gauge that it's a rounded bottom given the higher highs and higher lows and that rounding effect. So my humble submission to you is get in on a higher or a higher low and then put your stop at the previous area low. So if I was to look here again on the Carvana weekly chart, if I was to get in over here, that's an area trough. If I was to get in over here, I'd put my stop down here, just like I would if I was trading it intraday. I always try to place my stops above the area low, the previous area low. I call them troughs. It would be no different here. So the book suggests to you getting long above that 300. I suggest to you that's too conservative. You can get in on the formation of the rounded bottom by having your entry wherever you'd like, so long as we're making higher highs and higher lows. But your stop placement here should be placed upon the previous area low, because if it breaks that level, then you're no longer making higher highs and higher lows. You've given up that pattern because you made a new low. So keep that in mind, okay? So that's number one. How to trading above the neckline. I don't necessarily agree with that, but that's fine. We'll throw that out there for you. Then number two, volume confirmation. Increased volume on the breakout bar compared to the preceding consolidation phase strengthens the bullish signal. This signifies to you a surge in buying activity, potentially confirming the breakout. And then number three, your entry and your stop loss. And I'll show you, I'll depict that for a second. You want to enter the trade. Again, the textbook says after the breakout of that $300 level on Carvana. I don't agree with that. And then you place a stop order just below the low point of the rounded bottom. So according to the textbook, this is what they want you to do. They want you to punch long at 300 and put your stop at $8. I mean, who thinks that that's realistic? That is not realistic. Okay, that's insane, in my opinion. If you're gonna get in at the 300 break, you should be putting it below the area low. That would be around here like 200 or something. So obviously you're gonna have to risk $100. It's Carvana. It's a very expensive stock. So getting on the neckline breakout and placing your stop below the area low, to me, makes absolute no sense. You would have to place it, or you don't have to do anything, but I personally would place it below the area low, the previous area low, just to be very clear, okay? So that's what it's saying there, and this is kind of what it's talking about. It wants you to take the breakout through the break of the neckline and to place your stop over here. But what I wanted to talk about here in terms of the neckline is your measured move analysis. So If you measure from the lowest area of the bowl shape, the rounded bottom, to the neckline, so in our case, it would be essentially 8 to 300 on Carvana, you would then measure the measured, you would basically take that move, a $300 move or a $292 move, okay? And then you would project it upward. So your target would be 6 something. Okay, now obviously you're not going to get that quick as you like. It took Carvana how long to recover from that bottom? So we made the lows here in December of 2022, and we only got to 300 last week. So yeah, that's a period of almost two years and a month. So you're going to have to wait quite a bit for that 600 to come in if you are going to use the measured move method. Again, what you're doing is you're measuring from the neckline break, that $300 area, and to the bottom of the bowl, and then you're taking that difference in price there, and then you're projecting it upwards, and that's where you would bet your beak on some profits. We're going to end the lesson here, but I just want to give you some additional tips. Pattern measurement. This is kind of what we just prefaced right there. The depth of the rounded bottom can sometimes offer clues about the potential upside move. We call that the measured move. Traditionally, the measured height from the pattern from the bottom to the neckline is projected upwards from the breakout point to estimate a target price for the uptrend. And time frame awareness, super important here. Rounding bottoms can form on various time frames. They might take weeks or years to develop on the daily or the monthly or the weekly, whatever the hell you're looking at, okay? Consider the time frame when setting your strategy. So if you're not okay waiting 2 years to take that $600 beak water, if you get it, then don't do that. Then don't get in using the measured mover. Don't get in using this strategy. Last but not least, confirmation is key. As we always mention, while rounding bottoms are valuable, and very high probability patterns, by the way, one of the most higher probability patterns there are, use them alongside other technical indicators like the RSI or the MACD for a more comprehensive trading approach. This helps gauge momentum and potential overbought, oversold conditions. Obi, he is the one. Kenobi, I hope everybody prints up a storm.
Thank you, Sharif, for that beautiful lesson there. Yeah, no, important concept there, especially if you're a long-term swing trader. You can see some of those rounded bottoms forming and kind of get in. And yeah, I think different ways of interpreting where that neckline is or where you want to get into that entry. Again, you can get creative with it, right? You don't necessarily have to follow that textbook example. You can observe that okay, well, this is a kind of price action that occurs naturally on certain things that might have a certain kind of supply-demand makeup over time, and you can get creative with where you might want to enter. I saw that rounded kind of curl coming in all the way down at 75s as well on Carvana, right? So it's it's like you can get there, you can get in at the 100, you can look for that continuation, you can use that rounded bottom as confluence to take momentum trades on a higher time frame. So you can get really creative with it. You don't necessarily have to be fully rigid with textbook. I think it's beautiful to learn about that, to know how participants are taking a look at some of these price action patterns and things that happen. But yeah, when you start getting really creative with some of these supply demand kind of patterns and things that show up, and start thinking outside of the box, that's when stuff really starts to I think. Get a little interesting, to say the least here. But yeah, no, people are asking, Obi, take a trade. I am in a trade. I'm in Bud right now. I gotta get in and out of something for the blotter to populate there. But you can see I got in a little early here on Bud Light. They had earnings today, so I was like, all right, gapping up on earnings. We can take a look at what this ticker is looking like. Actually, before that, I do want to take a little bit of a trade here. On XPEV, let's see if that'll take me there. So, okay, you know what? This is, sometimes what happens is that the shortcut for my stop is actually something else here on this PC, so I just gotta turn it off and on again. We were talking about some of this yesterday. Sometimes when things are not working, maybe try turning it off and on again there. So XPEV looking a little interesting here, kind of consolidating near its highs. But yeah, no, hotkeys. It's this AMD hotkey kind of thing that I don't know, it's messing me up right here. So All right, so XBEV taking a little bit of a consolidation near its highs on top of 22. So watching that one here. Bud Light already involved in that one. We can kind of talk about that in a second. Let's go here to Bud, Anheuser-Busch. So very, very strong reaction to its earnings, right? So the earnings happened this morning, kind of reported. You can see we gapped up all the way from 55s up into 58s and holding that VWAP going into the open there. So it got a little long. Tried a couple times here. Tried once here on top of this 59 and then get stopped out below, 59.20s I got in and get stopped out in the teens. When it pulls back into 59, holds 90s and then bids back up, I'm like, all right, well, let me try it again for that one. Now we're really accelerating here. 59.78 now taking out some of these pre-market highs here, Sharif. So Anheuser-Busch to the upside as of right now, 59.78. It's printing some fresh highs on the day. Again, this thing moves like molasses. So
that's low.
You see what I did there?
For anybody who doesn't know what molasses does.
Yeah, so moves like molasses, but I'll let that one work. I took out over 90% on this first push into pre-market highs right here. You can see all of my selling that I did right here. And then from this entry, 59.10s or 59.11 is the current entry there. So there we go. It populated on the blotter there at the bottom. So yeah, a little bit of a short here on XBEV. I'm willing to give it a couple tries here. Don't know if it's going to work. Very, very strong China gap up. We can see that continuation happening on a lot of different tickers here. And our market finally catching a little bit of a bid, Sharif.
Okay.
I was actually looking at Meta. Meta has been selling off pretty aggressively, right? So for the past couple of days, after a strong run-up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Today's one of the first days where we're catching an actual bid off of the open. So I have that on watch. 658. 21 lows all the way to 680s currently here, high a day on Meta. Nvidia as well catching a little bit of a bid, but Apple looking distinctly different, relatively weak. We saw Apple being relatively strong while everything else was selling off. Now everything is kind of catching a bid, and guess who's selling off?
Apple.
A little bit distinctly different.
Grin.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm looking at today, guys. The small cap gappers are coming in, just throwing in one ticker. Donald John Trump is in play today. It's not the biggest mover on the day, but that's a hell of a good looking chart pattern there. Higher highs, higher lows. I've got a trade set up on this one. I'm looking to take this at 25. I've set up a dip trade at 10s and 5s. The reason I put my 5s there is to front run 25, but when I looked a little bit more, it looks like 10s was being supported, and now it's going away. It's breaking out right now into that $0.25. It's a 4 penny spread, 2 penny spread here, so not a bad look. Certainly on Donald John Trump today, but it looks like it might be getting away from me. So that's what I'm looking at right now, DJT. I'm also very interested in CCG. Look, it's not a big boy mover, but it's up 31%. Good looking chart pattern as well, but this concerns me up here. I don't like these wide ranging candles. The range per candle is quite wide here given the price. $1.25 at the high and then low and then 150 at the high there. I mean, that's quite wide. Now, why does that matter? Because it has to influence your profit-taking placement as well as your stop placement. But it's very respectful, it seems, of the 10 exponential moving average. That is always going to be the solid green line on my chart. So I'm keeping, DJT's breaking out, bro. 25 and a third. It's really getting away from 25. So I won't get that fill, sadly, at the whole dollar in the 10 penny level. That's fine. We'll look to do either a little bit better on DJT, set up a little bit way, or we'll look for something else. So CCG in focus. So is ASPI. It's setting up a bull flag over here. It's up 25%, but this volume drop off down into the right in the volume, not my cup of tea. It's holding up at, it seems like here, 5.25. I don't know. I could definitely have a trade on this with a tight stop below 520, something like that. I'll have to give this one a bit more of a look. MULN, Mullen, absolutely in play. There's a compression pattern afoot right now with lower highs but higher lows. So this is kind of looking like a bull pennant, right? With a really large pennant and a very small pull. because the pennant's taking up a lot of the pull size over here. But the point is, it's compressing. So try to get in. If you're going to get in on Mullen, try to get in at the lower end of the range. It seems to be respecting this trend line here from the low side. So I'd try something near the $4, $4.10, $4.15, something like that on MULN. I'll probably be setting up a trade soon on that if it holds up. Now, I would be remiss if I told you to use VWAP here as a sort of line in the sand of whether you get in the trade or not. Oftentimes you've heard me say I won't trade a small cap gapper if it's trading south of VWAP. Well, yes, that is 99% of the time that's true, but Mullen, not your typical small cap gapper, nor is it respecting VWAP, okay? VWAP here, which is the white line on the chart, kind of looks like the line of best fit as opposed to an area support or resistance. So it's kind of going through the middle of the price action. So don't use VWAP as your entry or exit, or doesn't seem like it is the appropriate thing to do. Last but not least, in terms of small cap gappers, PDSB. Like, this is a little bit light on volume, guys. I mean, it's a dollar a name. It's only done 2 1/3 million shares. So the volume might not be there. And the volume's quite erratic, too. Not every candle has similar amounts of volume. You'll get an outsized candle over here with 350, and then you'll get this candle here with 50,000 shares, that is. So PDSB in focus, but definitely not my favorite. HIMS. Obviously, I'm looking at HIMS. I'd rather look at hers, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm looking at HIMS over here. Hey, get it, Joe. Joe's over there having a good time, bro. Shout out to Joe, man. Killing it with Katina man this morning on
he's doing a good job,
He's
man.
killing it, bro. He's a natural
at it. Yeah, let's go.
So this one kind of breached VWAP over here. It dropped that at 42 1/4. It's doing the dance right now with 44. I'm kind of worried that this might manifest into a double top. But if we break above that 44 1/4, I'll feel a little bit better about that. So HIMS certainly in focus for me today. Obi, what is your look over there, my boy?
I'm kind of watching the markets here as well, taking a little bit of a pullback after that strong push off of the open. Oh boy, what a bid we got, right? And yeah, I was talking about some of these tickers here on watch, and we will take a look at those right after we get back from Adair.
Take a look here at Chevron here, CVX. I'm seeing some reports coming through here. Apparently, the company is open to buying Phillips 66 chemical stakes. So keep an eye on PSX as well. Phillips 66. Apparently, Chevron open to buying Phillips's stake here in chemicals, and PSX actually moving up on this catalyst. Also, I'm seeing some posts here about Peloton right now, and it is getting a little bit of a spike as well. Hello, buddy. I guess this is a Peloton-related site posting that Peloton has updated its U.S. website with a notice indicating that the Peloton trend is experiencing higher demand, leading to longer than usual delivery time. So Peloton trend so popular, delivery time's getting a little bit slower here, guys. Also keep an eye out. I will be sharing brand new Nvidia and Jensen Huang infographics all day ahead of Nvidia earnings. We've got a couple in the works already. Back to you.
Well,
Thank you very much, Adara.
Thank you very much for that, Adara. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry I'm not in a position. I was just telling Ob right now, nothing is to my liking. I'm literally looking at all the small caps that I have on the side. I'm displeased with all of them, whether because they're not setting up the right way or the volume is bupkis. So we'll try to weasel in. I'm still leaving my $25 dip trade on Donald John Trump here active. I'm setting up 2 dip trades here, one at 10s, one at 5s, 25.05, 25.10 Ob. But it probably behooves me to keep looking at CCG. Not CGC, not that marijuana company, CCG, okay? It's defending the volume weighted average price. It's got higher lows. It seems like it has a flat top in and around $140, even though we've got a high day of $150. Look at the closing prints on the 5. Every single one of them, either at or lower than $140. But all the while, we're putting in higher lows. What the hell does that mean? That means buyer exuberance. They're picking it up, buyers that is, picking it up at higher and higher levels every single time. This is what we call a possible flat top break. I don't have the animation. I'm not going to hit the flat bottom break either. For that, I appreciate you, Joseph. All right, so I'm setting up a dip trade here on your boy CCG, and I'm gonna layer the orders though, because I'd like to be able to get, my beak wet a couple of times. And here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get in right now. But it's going to be for smaller shares. And what we're going to do is we're going to work our way into this position. We're in at the highs. We look like a schmuck. Work it, Sharif.
Get it.
Oh, but never thought I'd hear you say that. But it's all good.
Oh boy.
So that's what I'm waiting for right there. I'm involved now at $1.39, so I'm a schmuck punching it at highs. But I'm telling you guys what the plan is. I do plan on planning my DCAs, not random because I'm out of the money, but I'm planning DCAs right now into that $1.30. I'd like to pick up some up here. Let's see what comes. Obi, he is the one. Konobi, what's going on?
Yeah, some people in the chat asking me to look at Rivian. So yeah, let's take a quick look at Rivian. I was looking at Tesla as well. Oh, Lemonade. Hello, you looking nice over there. All right, Lemonade. I think it looks a little sweet for setup for a reversion here on Lemonade.
Okay, I changed my bet. I'm gonna have to double down here. I'm putting a couple of chips on Obi and a couple of chips on Adara.
I mean, you already know who I'm betting on.
I'm sticking with my bet.
LMND,
I'm sticking with Adara, bro.
Trades on the nicey. Okay, so Lemonade with a little bit of a pullback here. 32s are those highs. So we're about a point away from those highs. But okay, I'll keep an eye on you because yeah, you are looking pretty sweet there. And Rivian though, you guys want me to take a look at Rivian? Rivian 1202 highs. Again, we see that Rivian's been selling off. A lot of these EVs back-to-back days of strong selling here. Do we see more of the same? Right now, $12.02 is the high a day. A little bit of a held level there as of right now, but you can see since earnings, we've been kind of downtrending there on Rivian, making lower highs and lower lows. Do we see more of the same today? I don't know. We'll have to see if we can get above this $12 level, but this VWAP seems pretty interesting here. Oh boy, Sharif.
Adara's threatening you in the chat.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, I'm always up for a challenge. That's what I'm saying. I'm always up for a challenge. Lemonade is coming in right now. Baby. What is Adara saying? That's pretty okay. But I will sour your chances at the pun challenge when I win.
She punned in the threat, bro.
Victory. Okay, all right.
She punned in the threat.
Oh my God.
I love it. Get it, Adara.
Don't worry.
All right, we're having a good time on the show today, guys. All right.
I'm taking notes, Sharif. I'm taking notes. You know, she's a formidable opponent, but you know, I think I believe in myself as well. So there's also a part of that. XPEV to the downside as of right now. I did not punch more at 22s where I was looking at it. I'm like, all right, I kind of am willing to get some more size into the 22 break. But oh boy, all right, that's okay. Where's the next trade? Let's let this one kind of cook here. Lows to the upside here as of right now. So let's see what they're selling on this ticker here. So right here, look at that reversion, right? Strong action on that initial push all the way up to 254s, comes into the reaction lows here off of the open. Nice little dip into 242s, but then all the way back up to 252. So absolutely wild action there. Nice little reversion happening on lows. I'm also looking at a few other earnings names. So we were just talking about Lemonade there. So Lemonade taking a little bit of a pullback. So let's take a look at LMND as well. This is what I was talking about. Very aggressive strength off of the open. This is kind of the first bit of relief that we're getting here. Some selling coming in into prior day's lows. So again, gap down on that earnings report. The earnings report was pretty decent. Double beat on that one there. I don't know what their guide was like, but take a look at that. Bought it all back up off of the open there. Aggressive strength from 27s all the way to 32s there, Sharif. So very, very strong on Lemonade. And yeah, taking maybe poised for a little bit of a pullback here with this break in trend. I'm going to keep eyes on that one yet. Not set up just yet as well as I'm looking for. So yeah, I'm gonna be patient with that one. Maple Bear, so CART is also on watch for me today. Didn't really do what I was looking for. Again, we talk about this. I have all of these ideas in the pre-market session and some from last night as well. And I'm looking for these setups to come into play. And I'm like, all right, I'm looking specifically for a certain iteration of price action that if I do get, or if I get something similar in and around that, then we can really smash and kind of swing at it if we do see it set up like that. But Maple Bear not really doing what I was looking for. Maybe I was looking for a little bit more of a stronger continuation to the downside. But again, things are not always going to be clean. We are still kind of chopping and churning, and let's see if we break this consolidation low going into the later half of the day. Workday as well, WDAY.
Or
earnings. I would say earnings winner.
Yeah.
But because a double beat. strong market taking it very nicely. We rip up from the undisturbed price of 256s on that catalyst all the way up to 288s in the pre-market today, but taking a little bit of a breather here on the pullback. So I did have an anchored here. If I'm not, okay, no, not yet, not on this one. So let's throw up that anchored here and see where that anchor lies. And let's make that a little bit more visible. I'll put it in black there, black and bold. So you can see that consolidation underneath that anchored as of right now here on workday. So I got that one on watch. Again, I was looking for that continuation off of the open. Did not happen. It sold off aggressively. So I'm like, all right, on to the next. And which one is the next one? And that would be Bud. And Bud was the one that kind of started doing what I was looking for. We saw that gap up. I'm looking for that continuation. We pull back into 59s. Failure to follow through below 59s, reclaims that anchored, reclaims that VWAP, reclaims opening range prices where there were some interesting reserves on top of 59.
Interesting.
And we're taking a little bit of a pull up here. But again, like I said, this thing moves literally like molasses. It got about 4 pennies above pre-market highs, now taking a little bit of a pullback. So again, like I said, I've gotten rid of majority of the position on this initial test of 60s and 70s into those pre-market highs. Now just holding on to a little bit of a runner to see how that one goes. What's up, Adara?
We have a lot of Jensen Huang and Nvidia-themed infographics as I teased here ahead of earnings. And this one, actually, I have to thank Sharif for giving me the idea for this. So here's Jensen holding a chip, though not taking one out of an oven. And here's basically a look here at these Nvidia chips that are and are not allowed in China. So what's interesting here, they're A800 and H800. These were initially allowed for China. In fact, they were actually manufactured for the Chinese market after the first export bans in September 2022, but then about a year later in October 2023, after, I think, being around for less than 6 months, then we had new export bans not allowing the A800 and H800. So these chips that were created for the Chinese market have now been banned from said market. H20, of course, is the allowed chip, and as we got reports from the information yesterday, apparently popping off in China. So interestingly enough, the Chinese government actually has been discouraging people from buying the H20 chip, though it is allowed. So interesting stuff here. I had a lot of fun making this graphic, and I do want to shout out Sharif for giving me the inspiration for this. Here's Jensen. We'll have to see if this is looking so green for Nvidia after the earnings report tonight. Back to the guys.
That's amazing, Adara. That was literally ridiculous. Thank you for doing that. And it's really important that we understand this if we're going to invest in Nvidia. Maybe not so much trade because we're looking at technicals, but we need to understand the investments. I want to tell you guys that 5-hour Lex Friedman podcast with those two AI nerds was ridiculous, okay? They show you the nuances of these chips. Like, they change very small things based on U.S. government specifications, but you can tell the advisors for those for the U.S. government didn't really understand fully what some of the, like, the cache or the DRAM specifically in one, they like reduced it in one, increase in the other. So the H20 was actually better for inference than training, but the H100 was better for training than inference. So a lot of nuance with those chips, and they mean different things. So if you're interested, if you wanna learn about Nvidia and the chip, the whole GPU AI processor thing, if you're gonna invest in it, it makes sense, at least to me, to understand what the hell you're investing in. And that's kind of why I'm saying that. Shout out to the nerds on Lex Friedman's podcast. 5 hours, bro.
Wow.
I listened to that beast over like a week and a half.
Okay, I was gonna say, did you do it in one sitting? Yeah, I would be like, wild.
It's insane.
That's definitely some dedication if you can do that in a single sitting.
What are you talking about? Let's go. I'm just talking about selling chips. How's that commie? Calm down over there. All right, guys, I'm involved in HIMS. We just took out like 40 pennies there super quick. I got filled at the $0.50. I'm long 8s. I'm here for VWAP, okay? I still have a little bit of a dip trade here setting up at 42.80 because we know how these bad boys trade. Sometimes they respect VWAP, sometimes not so much. So I'm looking at de-risking here to the high side if I can next here at 55s here on HIMS. Let's see what this bad boy does. It is a lower high type situation. So anything below 42.50 and I'm gonzino. Why 42.50, Sharif? What the hell is happening over there? Well, have a look. That's the area trough. This could be a double top, with that being the area trough of the neckline. And if that's the case, I don't want to hold it through that level. So that's what I'm doing right now. We're already profitable a little bit on him, still holding a couple of pieces on this bad boy. Let's see how it does. Get it, Adara. All right, so now I'm also involved, as I've shown you guys, with CCG. We're 1 penny in the money here. The point is to pick it up off the area lows. I perceive this to be doing higher lows with a flat top at $1.40. If that is the case, then I should, if I'm trading it correctly, be picking it up off the area low on that upward trend line. And that's what I did with that $1.34 ad. So let's see if this one wants to break above the level. I've also got my dip trades set up here on Donald John Pump. Okay, so Donald John today, he's moving up, and I don't know why, nor do I really care. But it's up to 25.35, the high. It's up 5 3/4. I'm looking for a 25 defend. I perceive this area over here to be a bit of a support zone, since we chopped and churned between 25 and 25.15 for a hot minute. So I've set up my dip trade at 10s and 5s. Let's see if it wants to hold up there. We'll have to find out. I'm still not filled yet on DJT, but definitely looking at getting in at 25, 25, 25, 25. Copying a there, by the way. Shows us 21, 21.
21, yeah.
Right, but I'm born on the 25th, so I like that better.
Okay, yeah, no, I like. What's your favorite number, Sharif? You have
25.
Do you have 25? Okay,
Yeah.
My favorite number for some reason happens to be 5, and again, 5 times 5.
I like 5 as well.
I like that.
I like 5 because I'm born in the 5th month.
Okay, all right.
You're like
July.
21, 22, something like that. 27?
What?
Your birthday.
19.
19, yeah.
Yeah. 19th
like
of
21,
July.
22, that's not that far.
I'm like, damn.
27. I just remember you were at the end of July, right?
Yeah, no, I'm so horrible with birthdays. I only remember my own and one of my best friends as well, because he happens to be on the same day.
Fair.
It's because he happens to be on the same day. I'm
so
like,
you don't get any credit for that.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, well, I'm just like, we just happen to be born on the same day. We never knew that until much later on in our life.
Are you similar to him, or is he distinctly different?
What do you mean in terms of age?
Oh, you have born on the same day. Do you have similar personalities?
I think we have things that are similar, things that are distinctly different. I'd say a little bit of both, but yeah.
Another person who's distinctly different.
Yes.
Adara LePage.
Transition there, Sharif. We're going to take a look here now at DJT, because I didn't want to mention Sharif. I looked into it because I was curious after what you said. There's a bit of a catalyst on this name, so I want to contextualize without getting too into it. Basically, Brazil has had some legal actions against Rumble, RUM, same kind of ideal as DJT. They basically champion free speech. Basically, what happened was there was a situation where I guess Brazil had asked Rumble to take down some US-based users' accounts. They were asking Rumble to take down accounts from users in the US. An American judge then ruled that Rumble and Trump media did not have to listen to Brazil. So pretty confusing, but an American judge said, hey, Rumble and DJT, you do not have to listen to this order coming from Brazil with regards to a US user. So after all of that hullabaloo, we did have Devin Nunes, the CEO of DJT, speaking out in support, basically saying that this ruling is a good stand for freedom, and they also congratulated Rumble. So that seems to be the catalyst on DJT. I apologize for the long-windedness of that. Back to you.
Through all the hullabaloo.
Yeah.
Like,
nobody likes the hullabaloo.
Very, very frustrating.
Yeah.
That's a great word. We're hitting it. Right there it is, man. I mean, come on.
Word of the day.
We're not going to hit that for hullabaloo. I mean, when are you going to hit it? So it's kind of.
I don't know when the last time I've used that.
Yeah, I think me and the production team are like the only two people who have it. I don't know why, but in any event, we're going to wet our beak here on HIMS a little bit. I'm taking off my dip trade on this one, and I'm taking off my next beak wetter. I'm moving up the beak wetter. I don't feel that waiting for 43.60 is the right area. I'd like, boom. Absolutely accurate decision. I'm going to wait up a little bit in the 80s. And if I get stopped out, I get stopped out. But I want something a little bit higher, showing me 69s now. I'm long even dollar now with the cost basis. So we're about 69, 70 pennies in the money right now on HIMS. Looking for a bigger move up, though. But I am cognizant of the lower highs, okay? So this is an area high here at around 44.5. Then we reject 44.20. Now it's showing me 71s. Let's see if this one wants to make a little little bit higher at 44. It's a good entry here at 43. Let's see if we can weasel up a little bit more, extract a few more pennies. There it is, and boom, we'll take it out at 80 pennies right there. This thing is up 10%. Keep your eye on HIMS. There is a resistance level, though, at $40. I'll submit to you that we did do kind of a rounded top there, especially if you look at it at the 5. We put incrementally lower highs on this bad boy, so be careful trading this one. It's not too spready, though. I'll give this one credit. It's got a decent spread, 3 pennies on a $40 name. Yeah, and it's not too bad, Adair, to be quite frank with you. It's done about 25 million shares, Hope, so decent look. What's that?
It was great yesterday.
Not a bad look.
Yeah, I participated in that. I'm watching that. I got eyes on HIMS as well. But did a little bit of a day 2 move. But again, some of these day ones definitely have me a little bit more interested here. And we were talking about some of these China stocks off of the open. A little bit of a gap up on the Hang Seng there. We were talking about that yesterday on the show as well. A bit of a trend there on a bigger time frame. And we got that continuation here. And I'm looking at XPEV, but I'm looking at BABA as well. BABA kind of giving us a strong move. Look at this 3-minute chart off of the open. Nice little consolidation underneath some of those pre-market lows, and then a push all the way up to 141 from 138. So absolutely beautiful action there. XPEV as well. I'm getting a little involved in this one currently, but yeah, very, very strong move there on XPEV. It's up over about 8.5% currently, kind of consolidating underneath this 22 mark as of right now. So let's see where that one will go. And again, I'm going through some of these tickers that are doing the most volume on the day. And have you checked out ENVB at all? No. Today? So it's the number 1 on my volume scanner right now, and it seems like this is right up Sharif's alley here. Yeah. So a little bit of a strong move there off of the open there, ENVB, and I'm sure Sharif can cover that one. They're a little bit better. But Nvidia with a strong trend to the upside, holding VWAP off of the open, a little bit distinctly different than some of the action we've been getting over the past few days here. Lucid to the downside. We know they reported earnings, so a little bit of a trend to the downside. SMCI, guess what, Sharif?
What?
They did file their 10K last night, and look at that, boom! So on that push of their 10K, absolute ripper all the way from 43.30s all the way up to 53.28. So yeah, a little bit of a consolidation chop here off of the open today, but yeah, doing some moves in the after hours on that 10K report finally being submitted there. Mullen as well. I know a lot of people like to trade this ticker. Mullen with a little bit of a shake and bake off the open. NEO, people were talking about NEO in the morning session here as well. NEO very, very strong push off of the open, pulls back into VWAP. What a clean hold of $4.50 there, Sharif. Nice, beautiful reversion back up towards some of those highs there. So yeah, we talk about a lot of opportunity. Palantir not really doing too much. Tesla, oh boy, I saw this quadunk while sitting at my desk, and I was like, oh boy, yeah, that VWAP selling definitely a little dominant on the day today. Look at that opening range low break there at 302.80s. Look at that, straight through. Just slices through that price, doesn't look back, like butter, absolutely beautiful. And 300 holding as of right now. I kind of talked about that 300 level yesterday. Kind of an interesting level, not only just on the intraday, but a higher time frame as well. I think that, it doesn't matter what I think, but high probability we're doing some transactions at 300, and you can see we've been using 300 as a bit of a magnet over the past couple, yesterday and today for now. Ford with a very strong push off the morning drive there as well. A bit of continuation. We saw yesterday it showed some strength up into the 950 mark, and today we're stepping up once again on Ford here. Some of these other names not really covering them. NU, I know this one was a little bit of an interest. Quite a few players there. I know they had earnings just a few days ago. Quadunk on their earnings, Sharif, but taking a little bit of a stair step back up here on new holdings as well. So regional banks on that one. Let's see what else. Anything interesting here? Rigetti. So Rigetti, again, can't forget the Rigetti. And Rigetti kind of still holding a bit of that downtrend. We know a lot of these thematic tickers have been taking a strong pullback. Again, very retail heavy, very involved. In terms of doing relative volume as well on some of these thematics, but you got to remember these things come in and out. Thematics are definitely very, very cyclical there. So yeah, we're seeing some of that happen on some of these quantum names, and maybe even some of the charging names. If you look at NNE and Oklo what was the other one? SMR, things like that. Hood was strong yesterday on, I think they had some sort of catalyst maybe potentially, but doing some relative volume today, catching a little bit of a bid back into 50s. I got nothing else on the board. I'm trading what I want to trade. What is the next trade? Show me in the chat what you guys think that is. Right now, we're going to pass it back to Adara.
Adara.
Keep an eye here on the NASDAQ as we consolidate from near all-time, or not all-time highs, as we consolidate near high of day, I apologize. We have Donald Trump commenting on inflation. So he said that inflation is, quote, stopping slowly, but saying that they have to get the prices of eggs and other things lower. So trying to lower the price of eggs amongst some other things, while inflation is apparently stopping slowly. He also said that inflation is down in part because of high interest rates. So some comments coming through here from Donald Trump on inflation. Just be aware of this as we try to push into high of day for that NASDAQ. And again, Trump signing executive orders today at 3 p.m. So if Nvidia didn't provide enough excitement about an hour and 20 minutes before that, we're going to get Donald Trump coming through with some executive orders. Back to you.
All right. Shout out to what's his name? Zion freaking Lala for calling out Riley. Great call out there. One name that we know very well because we've been trading it on the show. It's breaking out right now. I didn't have eyes on this one. Bang. We take out some there. Where we long 42s. Now I'm waiting at 48s. I had a dip trade that went unfilled at 30s. Let's see if we can take out the $half here on RILY, showing me 46s. Now 46 and 45 have been a sell zone over here. 47s now. Okay, wow. Someone got triggered with a monster sell order at 47 because the second it printed it, it went all the way back down, but right back up into about 44s right now. Now showing me 45s again, so the buyers are picking this up. RILY, it's up 30%. I'm trying to work into this without punching in like a... I was about to use an expletive without a dummy at the high, so that's why I did DCA into that 35s, because punching into the $half can be a little bit risque over here. So that's what we're keeping an eye on right now. I'm also still involved, obviously, in CCG, but that one is a bit of a slower mover. Tisha, I know you're talking about MULN. I'm trying to work my way responsibly into that. I feel like 4.25 is the right area to pick that up off right now. It is the down trend line, the support trend line from the bottom that I'm trying to base my trades off, but I got to keep my eye on Riley over here because it's right back down into my planned DCA at 530. Let's see if we can get the print. It's a 4-penny spread, which is quite displeasing on a $5 name. So we were 530 on the bid and 534 on the ask, and that's why I did not get printed there for the dip trade at 530. So I'm keeping my eye on that. I'm also keeping my eye, obviously, on CCG. Yeah, CCG, not CGC. Make sure we're getting that right, guys, because there are two different stocks. So I'm waiting for this one to either fill me, but how many shares do I have? Because I have to set up a stop for this one in case it gives up the ghost. There we go. So how many am I looking to buy over here? CCG, we're looking to buy how many? Okay, good. So then I can base my out on that. So then we're going to go just like this, and then we're going to go like that with this. Okay, so now the stop's in place. Good, now I can focus a little bit on, no, that's HIMS, I don't want that. Where's my other one? Boom, right back to the high side. Goes Riley, still unfilled though, that person selling at 47s is still there. Keeping this bad boy below the $half. And again, we reject at 47s. What kind of psycho puts a sell order at 47s? Well, who does that? I'm just bitter. So let's put an order out here at 47s. Maybe we can get the beak wet there because it's the seller's clearly front running the $half here. I mean, I just won't be convinced that someone sells at 47, right? Clearly, you're trying to front run the $half. So let's see if we can get that move up right now. We're still long 42s because we didn't get the DCA into 30s, despite the fact that it came into 30s. So that's okay. There it is. We take out there. Perfect. Boom and boom. Both orders go. Now we're breaking up to the high side. You bet your bottom dollar I'll be taking up some over here. If we can pop back up, please and thank you. There it is. So take that one out. Take it out. I'm so slow. I suck. Yeah, we'll take it out like that. Okay, fine. So anticlimactic. I thought I had the 58 prints there. All right, we're going to set up again, just like that. This one is coming back down like a psycho, though. Holy, this thing is... Riley's trading crazy right now. Riley's trading, but there's clearly a buyer here. Oh, look at this. 530 defend, 530 defend, another 530 defend. There is a big boy seller. or a big boy buyer at 530. Okay, we just got filled on Donald John Trump. I saw that. Let's see now for the 25 defend. It's going to have to hold up here. I'm long 07s. It's showing me 9s. So we're 25 is going to have to be the level here for Donald John Pump. Let's see if this one wants to pop back up. How many? Okay, do I have? Great. So let's set up the stop. The stop has to go below that 85 penny level because there's a consolidative area there. So we're going to go ahead and go like this. And then we're going to take out everything into the 70 area there. So the stop's in place on Donald John Pump. So that's what we're looking at right now. Still dealing with this Riley madness as it continues to zig and zag into 530s. I should be setting definitely an order at 531 because the 530 orders are not getting filled. So that's what I'm involved in. 3 names right now. CCG, it's defending volume weighted average price. So we're long Donald John Trump at 25. It's going to have to hold above that 24 3/4. And last but certainly not least, we're involved in RILY right now, zigging and zagging at that 5.5. What you got?
Yes, sir. So I'm still kind of just watching this XPEV here as it starts to bleed off a little bit. That morning momentum definitely kind of that buying dissipating a little bit here as we break some of that trend. But again, buyers were at VWAP. Let's see if we can get back down into VWAP here. VWAP at 2130s. So about a few pennies away from that one there. Yeah, market still consolidating in and around this 21,400 here on the NASDAQ and just above 6,000. We were looking at that 6,000 yesterday, Sharif, and we finally kind of got back above it pretty decently on the day today. And yeah, kind of just holding consolidation for the past, what is this, 1, 2, 3, 4 15-minute candles with about 3 minutes, just under 3 minutes left on this current 15-minute candle to print. And yeah, so my eyes are on XPEV. My eyes are actually on Lemonade as well. Like I said before, looking pretty sweet there, but pulling back kind of slowly, much more slowly than I was looking for here. But yeah, it is kind of working here. Let's see if we can pull it back down into VWAP or anywhere closer. That $30 level, a little interesting here. Maybe some re-engaging happening there as well for a potential long. But I got eyes on nothing too crazy setting up just yet. Like I said, throw up in the chat, what tickers are you guys looking at? How many tickers have you traded as well? I want to know what trades you guys had in the morning session. We saw some solid moves there in the morning session. I know Joe was involved with the Amazon continuation, and I saw that as well. That was that was a stock on my watch list as well last night. I was like, okay, oh boy, what a V-shaped recovery. I even mentioned it on the show yesterday. I was like, what a beautiful reversion, V-shape breaking past opening prices, breaking past opening range high on Amazon, high of day coming in at the end of the day with those imbalances, and absolutely beautiful continuation on the day today. Sure, it only gave you a couple points. Majority of that reversion move happened yesterday, but that continuation off of those pre-market highs in the morning today, absolutely beautiful action there on Amazon. So shout out to Joe for having that trade there. And yeah, where is the next one? Tesla was also looking for that continuation. Tesla comes in strong flush off of the open, coming into a bit of a key level at that 294, 295 area, and continuing to consolidate underneath VWAP. So again, VWAP sellers have been a little bit dominant there on Tesla more often than not over the past couple of days, and even one would argue over the past couple of weeks here as we pull off of those all-time highs on that 500 test. We went to 488s and some change and couldn't really get too far past that. So that is also on watch, but I'm going to let it chop around that 300, Sharif, because again, like I said, I think it's a little interesting. We'll let that price action form in and around that key level, and then we'll make a decision based off of that. Oh boy. What happened? All right. Remember I was talking about yesterday, TLT? Remember I was like, I'm like, but I'm not a bond trader though.
20-year?
That's a 20-year. Yeah. And look at what it's doing on a higher time frame. All I'm looking for is the tech. Well, there goes the markets, strong flush on the markets. You can see that some teleportation happening on the futures here. Let's see if we can get. Yeah, tape teleportation. Was it? I think Luca used to say that. There. Shout out to Luca. We're gonna be seeing him this Friday.
Yeah, I know.
So he's coming by. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see.
And we're gonna see a lot of people. BPI is
coming back. Right. Yes, let's
Luca
go.
Is coming
Luca's
back.
coming.
Have a whole bunch of the older traders.
Steph is gonna be here. Max is gonna be here. So yeah, you're gonna see some.
Where's the Lambo? Can we get
exactly.
the Lambo?
Where the Lambo
Where's he at, bro?
Oh.
Show there.
Max is gonna to pull up in his Lambo on Friday. That's what's happening, right?
I believe that.
Yeah, for sure.
I believe that.
Yeah, excited for Friday for sure. But yeah, continuation on TLT. That's what I was talking about earlier. So let's take a look at a higher time frame here on the hourly and look at what TLT's been up to. TLT a little bit of a bid up now. I'm sure there's reasons for this or whatever. But the thing is, my reason is just a reason to buy. Look at this, prior highs right here from December. This consolidation, we come back down, and look at this. Doesn't this look a little bit head and shouldery to you here? If I kind of draw that in right there, there's a shoulder, there's a head, there's a bit of a shoulder right here.
The downtrend that precedes it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
the crack of trend.
Yeah.
So you can do a lot of technicals on this or whatever, but the fact of the matter is we rejected this price. This is why I really like this breakout, especially yesterday. Look at this quadrunk that we had in the beginning of February. Right, we attempt to push that $90 level, get up to 90 halves, and then flush all the way back down. But we hold that shoulder from 87s and 86s and some change, and now we're coming back up into this level. So I saw that gap up consolidation happening in yesterday's action. So I'm like, all right, continuation on the board for TLT. I did not get involved in that trade yesterday, but take a look at this. This trade is happening on a higher time frame, Sharif.
Yes,
this
sir.
Continuation is happening once again today, and I'm sure if I go down to a lower time frame and go to a 3-minute chart, we're holding that VWAP as of right now. So let's see what TLT does if it really gives us a strong continuation. But right now, we have Adara with happening now.
We do. We're going to talk about the market, but Sharif, I might have another small cap name for you. I don't know if this is on your radar, but PDSB just popping up on my radar here on this scanner. We've got about 3.3 million shares of volume today, and they have an 11.3% short float. Sharif, 11.13. I don't have a catalyst in this. I just pulled up the chart. I'll take a look, but worth noting, it might be another small cap on watch. Let's take a look here at the market. S&P 500 pretty removed here from day's highs around that 599.50. We did not get to 600. But the NASDAQ, really nice here, holding up. I mean, still removed from day's highs, but holding up nicely above 1%. Nvidia is the star of the show, but some of these other tech heavyweights like CrowdStrike having a really good day today as well. We know Nvidia has this tendency to really move the market, so check out their report, but they're not going to be the only heavyweight reporting after the bell tonight. We have Snowflake, we have CRM, Salesforce. We're also going to be having Beyond Meat, and we're going to be having C3 AI. It's a pretty stacked one. You can check out the earnings board on X at TTV Research. We posted a couple of days ago for more info on that. Now, let's take a look at AAPL as well, because this name had quite the day. If you missed it, they actually halted. This $300 ticker halted this morning just due to the volatility here. We sold off pretty aggressively after we had short reports from both Fuzzy Panda and Colpert, though we've given up a decent amount of that move. Tesla also on watch here. If you did not realize it yesterday, we actually lost the $1 trillion market cap. So TSLA now back below $1 trillion and currently below $300, guys. Back to you. Make sure to like and subscribe. Check us out on social media, Trader TV Live and TTV Research if you like some fun research-related content. Back to you.
It's excellent research content. Adara, shout out to you. You're doing a fantastic job. Obviously, it goes without saying. Giving us very important data in the form of infographics.
I love
a way that people love. So why not? And
I'm a very visual person.
Yeah,
I like a lot. Like
I would
very
agree.
clearly, like I interpret a lot of visual data, and I like doing that. So I think those infographics definitely a great way to display important information.
And we got to tell everybody that the YouTube account, or sorry, not the YouTube, the Twitter account X account for Trader TV Live is being run by Adara. It is our research account. This is where she's putting all that information out there. Trader TV Research on X, correct?
Yes.
TTV Research.
I'll pull up the actual account so we can get that tag there, so you guys can go and give it a follow here. Let me just log into my.
Hold on, you're not following it?
No. I'm saying let me pull it up. So you guys can give it a follow. Of course I'm following.
I remember Arun,
what do you mean?
when he was on the show one time, and it was like, we were talking, we're like, oh, Arun, how come the chat isn't up? People are asking you questions. And he hit the subscribe button. We're live on the show. It's like, you weren't subscribed to the show? You're on the show, and you're not subscribed to the show, so we called him out for that, obviously. We're going to be doing that all the time. All right, guys, we're doing really well here on Riley, man. Goodness gracious, this one defends at 530 like a dang glove. We take out some at the $0.50, you better believe I'm waiting in the high 50s, but this is where we rejected last time. So what's my price? 31s, it's showing me 55s. We did double top last time over here. So if I'm a bad trader, but I will take out some more over here on RILY. Let's see if it rejects this area and then what it does. We're also in Donald John Trump, and bang, we take out more at the $0.05 of a dollar on Donald John Pump. We're long 6s. We've taken out 15s. We've taken out 20s. Now I'm waiting at 25s on DJT. It held the $25 area like a glove. An extension of that, it was also the 20 exponential moving average. Not a level that I typically use with these small cap gappers, but hey, when they conflate with another technical area of support, we'll use them. I think it gives it more credence there. So DJT looking for a move up into that $0.25 there. So pleased as dang punch. The one that's doing nothing right now, and the one that I was waxing poetic about right now, is CCG. We were talking up a storm about this. Oh, look at the higher lows and the flat top, this, that, and the other. I don't know, bro. It's kind of womp, womp a little bit right now. It's defending the volume weighted average price, but what it's doing now is it's done with that flat top $1.40 area that we're talking about, and now it's putting in lower highs. So I'm worried that the exact opposite of what I was predicting, a flat top breakout, manifests here and ends up being a flat bottom breakdown. I don't want that. That is not what I'm looking for there. And there's the other print on Donald John Pump. We take out the $0.25 there. Let's hang out at the $0.33 of a dollar now. So we're going to basically be near highs because that is near the high. 35s, 25, 35 HOD on DJT. I'm front running it by a couple of shekels in case resistance does show up there. It's up 5 4/5, 6% now. It's making me look bad. Every time I talk about it, it changes its price. But a good look right now on DJT. It holds 25 well. Let's keep an eye out on that. I see you, Tisha. I see you. I know you're talking about MULN. I got it. I like Mullen. Let's talk a little bit more about Mullen here because Tisha's probably printing up a storm on MULN, and I'm sitting here like a bad word, not doing anything. So I like this, Tisha, and this has been very respectful. And I was trying to tell you this earlier that I would really like it off that lower support trend line right there. It's been awfully respectful of that. I have no inclination whatsoever to use VWAP in this trade. As I mentioned, in my humble perception over here, VWAP looks like a line of best fit as opposed to an area support or resistance. So I'm quite interested on picking it up down here. Now, I haven't because I've been involved in all these other names, right? And I've been kind of busy with the other ones. It's kind of hard to manage them all at the same time. But your trade on Mullen, Tisha, absolutely accurate. I don't know where you're picking it up. I don't know what your cost basis is, but I like this higher low situation here. And guys, it's up a light 88.5%. So it's not just the degenerate small cap gapper traders like myself who are looking at this. There's a lot of people that are going to be on notice of Mullen because it's up so much. So that's the look right there. All right, let's let that one cook and see what we get there. I'm going to wet my beak here a little bit more on Donald John Trump. We'll take out some at the $0.25, and then we'll see if it wants to work its way up into 30. So I'm keeping my eye on that. The Hayes Records printing up a storm on the date. $600. He's calling it here. It's over. I'm too tilted to short. I don't know why you're tilted, bro. You're up $600. Chill. Why you tilted? It's
not enough.
It's not enough. Obi wants more. Shout out to the Hayes Records. Great day for you, brother. One of the chat OGs, no doubt about it. Get it. Tisha, you're killing it. You took the $0.25. You're already like 25, 50, 30 pennies in the money. So shout out to Tisha Perkins, man. Small cap gapper trader in the chat. She's doing her thing every single day. Watch out for her levels.
Yeah, let's go. So I have it pulled up here. See, I am following the account here, Trader TV Research, TTV Research right here. So give it a follow here. But yeah, no, I've been looking at some of the more recent infographics. They're very interesting stuff. I'm like, okay, that's definitely stuff that I didn't know in terms of some of the banned ships and how some of these companies have been growing over the years. And yeah, some earnings boards as well. We were talking about this one. So yeah, some solid value on there on Trader TV Research. The X, follow us on X right there. So Markets not really doing too much, man. We're still consolidating in that range. I was talking about those past 4 or 15-minute candles. We have done absolutely nothing but consolidate in and around that area as of the past couple of hours here. So waiting for a bit of a range break to happen. Not really seeing anything too crazy just now. When it comes to the Mag 7, Meta is still continuing to hold its highs. Amazon still holding its VWAP, so buyers definitely a little bit more in charge on that ticker on the day. Softy as well. Softy very, very strong on the day as of right now, trading near its highs. The high a day currently at 403.63s. We're trading at 402.90s. So some strength there on a few of those names. Nvidia as well near its highs. Tesla not looking as strong. Apple. We saw that weakness coming in off of the open there on Apple. So let's take a quick look at that. But take a look at what it's been doing since then, Sharif. Pretty much sideways consolidation.
Yeah.
So yeah, we do get some selling off the open.
There?
But no, what was the headline? They had news today.
All right, I got to talk.
What was the headline?
It's Donald Trump related. Actually, are you surprised?
No,
I'm not.
Not really.
Here it is. So our man DJT is displeased with the fact that Apple is still sticking with remnants of DEI. We're not going to get into this on the show. Please take it easy in the chat. We're just talking about the headline here. But there's a lot of companies that have been dropping DEI since the election. Apple, not one of them. They are going to, quote unquote, tweak their DEI. They're not dropping them. That displeased Donald. And Donald basically made blanket statements that DEI at Apple should be dropped altogether and not tweaked. If you want to have a look at the article, there it is. Screenshot that, pause, whatever, do whatever the hell you want to do. But that is the article there. So Donald John Trump, he's not just a trade on the screen, he's a person. I don't know why I said that. But yeah, DJT not liking the Apple's continued DEI efforts and making statements because I couldn't find anything that would justify the down move today. But yeah, that's the look right now for AAPL. A tough day for it, down 1 1/3 right now. All right, guys, I took some more out here on, speaking of DJT, I took some out there more at the 20s because this one started curling back down. The candle that manifested over here right at 12:08, well, actually the one that closed on the 5-minute at 12:05 was a bit of a topping tail candle, an inverse hammer candle. So I was a little concerned that this 25 1/4 would be the area top. So I did wet my beak there. But as you can see, I've layered my orders into 30s and then the high of day. Simultaneously, I moved up my stop from below 24.90 to just a skosh below 25. So I'll be looking to lock in those profits if it does come back down and cause me some problems. Let's go back to CCG. Okay, now this one's starting to move back up into that $1.40 area, but that's where we've been having trouble at that $1.40. Now, this is a great looking bull flag. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel in the chat, but when I would, like, if I was to take a picture of a bull flag and throw it in a textbook, this would be one of them right here. Fantastic look, big move up, sideways consolidation, higher lows on the consolidation area to show you buyer exuberance with that flat top so that you know if we break through that flat top, it can get a little parabolic. It's got everything in shape. Now let's see if it has everything in practice, IRL. We'll see what this one can do, showing me 39s right now. I'm quite displeased the fact that I didn't get my fill at 30. I even moved up to 31 because it was defending 30 and it wasn't printing me. So that didn't even work. I couldn't get a 31 print there, so a bit annoying, but it's okay. Bovin, can you please look at HCTI on a recovery and going up? Say less, my man. I will do that for you because Bovin is a chat OG. He's a recent OG, though. Like, he hasn't been around for too long. Not that one I remember, anyway. So HCTI, what is this stock? Let's talk a little bit about the deets. HCTI, what do we got here? Healthcare Triangle, 50 penny name, so sub $1, up 48.25%. The float, about 3 million shares, 2.9 and change, says my platform. Let's see what Trade Idea says. So it's saying the same thing, about 3 million shares with a very small short flow above it, about 1.53. So you know my rules with the small cap gappers, my man. If I can show the chart, guys. It's going to have to be above the volume weighted average price for me to trade it. In addition to that, the second rule is it has to be above that pre-market high. So Bovin, it's got to get above that 72, 73 penny area because that's the high from around 4 or 5 a.m. In addition to that, it's got to get above that white line. That white line, you know what it is, Bovin. That is the volume weighted average price. This looks like it was popping off there later in the day. I don't know if this was an earnings winner. I'm not even going to bother looking. 4 o'clock, it moved. Usually when something moves at 4 o'clock like that, usually it's an earnings play, but I'm not confirming that. Big move yesterday in the aftermarket, got up about to 80 pennies, not quite to 80 pennies. And quite frankly, if you're charting from yesterday, this looks like a hell of a downward channel here, Bovin. I don't know how you feel about this, but continuing from yesterday's price action, whatever algo's trading this is trading it within range. So it looks like this area over here at around 58, 60 pennies might be the area top. So let me know how that goes, my man. That's my look on it, not one that I'd want to participate in, Obi.
Yes, sir. So people in the chat talking about SMCI coming into its VWAP as of right now. So I got a few anchors here on SMCI, some of these from those prior highs. So let's take a quick look at a higher time frame chart to begin with. So this is an hourly here. Let's take off the intraday VWAP so we can get a better look at it. This dark black VWAP is the VWAP from the highs. We saw some strong selling starting to come in off of that. Again, comes in with that 10K report last night, comes in right into some of those areas here in the pre-market, kind of washing that. And again, it's a bit of a sandwich as of right now. So if you put them anchored on that 10K report and then anchored off of those highs there as well, just from last Wednesday, you can see a bit of a sandwich action happening as of right now as we consolidate between that 55.79 at the anchored from the highs into that 54.06, currently trading at 54.10s on SMCI. So yeah, let's see what happens. I think that we did kind of find some supply there on the test of that. I think we do have to reclaim. We would have to reclaim some of these if we do want to look for a little bit of a continuation to the upside here. And we also have this anchored from yesterday's pre-market action here, aggressive bid, kind of that was broken through. So again, if you were looking at this yesterday, we held that pretty well going into the open there, but break of that anchored and reclaim and a strong push on that 10K filing. But currently just chopping sideways. You can see this opening range. This is an hourly chart here. So we're trading well within that opening range on SMCI. So for me, I don't really see anything too crazy here on SMCI just yet. I do want to keep an eye on it going forward for the rest of this week and as well as for the rest of this month because again, we were anticipating their filing for quite a while and they finally did come through with it, following through on their deadline. So SMCI definitely want to keep an eye on, but not really getting involved with it too aggressively on the day today. But when it comes to earnings names, I still have eyes on some of those. We talked about Lowe's, we talked about Cart, we talked about Lemonade. I'm still watching it. Like it is fading off some of those highs, but it's consolidating within the upper quartile. So I don't know if it's ready for that reversion just yet. I do want to take a step back and kind of stay observing it, let it kind of work and see what that one kind of does going into the later half of the day. So Cart here as well, holding up pretty nicely. Again, some of these earnings names are not moving that crazy. And again, tonight is Nvidia earnings.
Oh,
so
Nvidia.
Is
that a chip company?
I don't know. It's I like gaming, so I've heard of them a little bit, but they might have played a significant role in the market run up that happened in all of 2024. Just saying. But yeah, good times. Feels like it was just last year. But Nvidia earnings today. So and the end of the week, we have some rebalancing as well. So some big opportunities this week, right? MSCI is at the end of the week. So what a great day to also have the grad party as well. So potential big day, and then we party. Whether we win or lose, we hit the booze.
TBD, baby.
As a trader used to say. But
keep fingers crossed there. The floor does well on that rebalance day. That's a big day. Oh, explain to what the rebalance is to some people here, like just so they understand what's up.
I mean, I think there's quarterly rebalances, there's monthly stuff as well, but MSCI doesn't come around very often. And when it does, again, a lot of big
What's a
players are
rebalance?
rebalancing their books. So there might be some things with unnatural imbalances to watch out for, and maybe those can pose with some opportunities going into the close. So that's kind of that rebalance.
So the rebalance, just maybe I'll ask you questions and you give me answers so people understand what's going on. So an index or like a fund like MSCI, they've got certain companies in their portfolio, right? And then they make adjustments quarterly, correct? Yeah. And then, so some companies will go in, other companies will be taken out.
Right.
So those companies that are being taken out have to be sold, while those companies that are coming in, they have to be bought. So there is ample liquidity during that event, correct?
Yes.
And the whole point of that trade is try to ride the momentum wherever direction it is going. So if there's influx of buying coming in because there's an ad, you're trying to ride the ad buy, and conversely with the sell. Is that a fair kind of assessment of it?
I think that's you hit the nail on the head there. I think that's a good way to look at it there. Not always giving you the momentum you're looking for, but definitely if the imbalances are slightly outlier, you can look for that potential move as well. But yeah, we'll see what opportunities rise. So there's been MSCIs in the past where it was an absolute nothing burger. So, just got to be patient, got to get ready for the game. And if the game is there, we play. If not, then we just sit on our hands and wait for the next trade. So that's
There's the big desk.
Comments from Donald Trump here. So keep an eye on FXI and the NASDAQ. Both of these getting kind of interesting wicks here and candles. Donald Trump saying that he's not stopping the tariffs. Quote, tariffs will go on. Not all, but a lot of them. So I don't know which tariffs this means, but Donald Trump saying that, quote, a lot of the tariffs will be going through. And then the other thing here to note as well is that he said the U.S. will invest in China. So keep an eye on FXI. Donald Trump saying that the U.S. will invest in China. So FXI and all these Chinese tickers on watch and the NASDAQ on watch here. Donald Trump still speaking right now. He also emphasized having good relationships with China, Russia, and the Middle East. So lots to keep an eye on here from a geopolitical standpoint for these markets. Guys, back to you.
all right. So
Thank you very much for that, Adara. The OG Darwin just wrote in the chat, U.S. officials examining whether the UK encryption backdoor demand on Apple violated the U.S.-UK cloud treaty. In case you're wondering what he's talking about there, the UK, the United Kingdom, has been insisting that Apple give them a backdoor to cloud-based storage. So if you have anything on Apple Cloud or anything like that, they want to be able to weasel in, obviously, for national security purposes, terrorism purposes. Apple has made their position very clear on that in the past. They didn't help the FBI. They don't want to help the the United Kingdom government, so they pulled out of the UK. So you can't even have cloud storage on Apple devices, apparently, in the UK anymore, or they're pulling out, in the process of pulling out. So interesting that Donald Trump is coming in to Apple's, I don't want to say aid, but definitely looking to help out his company here, seeing if it breached an agreement between the U.S. and England in that regard. Shout out to the OG Darwin for pointing that out. Apple getting shellacked nonetheless, down 1.5% on the day. All right, CGC, bang. We take it out at 140. Now we just took out 140. We're printing 141s. We haven't been up here in a hot minute. So I'm still leaving my order at 145 just as it's been, okay? Now, I don't expect this one to get too parabolic, but here we go. We're eating up some orders here. Now we're printing 142s. It was a hard road to hoe here to break this 140 area. We've broken it before, though. I really want to point that out. On the 5-minute, we do have several topping tail candles, all of which are 140 fails. The best print we've had on the day, that $1.50. So let's see if we can get something maybe in the mid-40s, and we'll start looking at the 50s. I'm talking about CCG. But Riley right now, all the rave. I was involved in this one at 5:30, took most of it at 5:55. It made me look awfully, awfully silly because it weaseled its way all the way up to 585. And then, in addition to that, it gave me another opportunity. Why did I take it out at 555? Because it kept rejecting that area. So what happens when a price action keeps getting rejected? It's a level of resistance. But what happens when we clear that resistance level? Oftentimes it acts as support, and that's exactly what it did there. Look at that test of 555, and right back up we go into that 5 3/4 RILY. It's not the biggest percentage winner on the day, certainly not, but it has got a fantastic looking chart pattern right now. And on the 5-minute, it is awfully respectful of the 10 exponential moving average. This is what I'm looking at. Look at that. Over here, nary a breach of the level. In fact, the only breach, and it was a wick breach, was one at 11:15. Other than that, it hasn't breached the 10 exponential. That's a very indirect way of me to saying a good entry on Riley here is off the 10 exponential. It's a little extended away from it right now. In case you're wondering where the 10 exponential is, it's about $5.46. We're printing OB 571. What do you got over there? I see that you're involved in XPEV. Oh, baby.
Yeah, I mean, XPEV is it's holding, it's consolidating. Like we said, that 22 is holding as of right now. So I'm just watching the tape here, looking for anything unusual. We did kind of hold on the low there. I got XPEV right here. I'll pull it up on this chart here as well. Thank you, Ramin. Yeah, so a little bit of a yeah, I like that. So a little bit of a break of that bid here as well, and then I got that anchored from the highs. Let's see if we hold as a bit of a resistance underneath this 22. But again, no idea if this is going to work. Very strong on the day. VWAP's all the way down at 2130s, guys. So yeah, we are kind of very strong on the day, and I'm trying to revert a ticker that is pretty strong on the day as well. I'm waiting for LMND to do the same thing. So LMND, Lemonade, you can see that it's been catching a little bit of a sell, but again, sideways consolidation above 30 halves. Maybe don't like that as much. Again, earnings day one on this ticker as well, but yeah, some strength there on LMND. Again, looking at a higher time frame, let's go up to the hourly here. We kind of looked at it, kind of reversing a decent chunk of that selling we got off of the earnings report. So that tells me that buying pressure might be very, very strong. Right, because we're kind of basically reverted almost 100% of the reaction of those earnings. If we can get above this 32, this reference price 3270s, then I think we might be poised for a little bit of a push. But unless and until we can get there, don't really know. But the pullback off of some of that morning momentum definitely looking interesting here on Lemonade. But SMCI, people still continue to talk about SMCI. Again, is it really doing anything? That's the question. Let me take off all of these indicators here. So is SMCI really doing anything? It's still holding in the opening range of that first hour. I know a lot of people like to use 15-minute and 5-minute opening ranges as well. So kind of a similar story here. Yeah, we attempt to break a 5-minute opening range high. We fail. We attempt to break the 5-minute opening range low. We fail. We've been we've been pretty much not really trending, but trading sideways in this range here in and around VWAP, a bit of orbit happening around VWAP on SMCI as well. So Meta curling, people say, let's take a quick look at Meta. Yeah, Meta with a bit of a curl, but again, very, very strong, looking distinctly different than it has been over the past few days as well on Meta. So that one is, again, if you had it off the open, that was a good opportunity. But at HIMS, let's check that out as well. Some of you mentioning that. Oh boy, wow, look at that HIMS pullback, Sharif. So maybe finding some supply at those day highs there, 44.62s on HIMS, pulling back in all the way to 41.60. So again, giving some decent range on this ticker on the day. HIMS and hers. Strong push off of the open. Wasn't necessarily looking at it yesterday. Day one was quite beautiful when it flushed off of the open like that, but coming right back in after a strong opening drive once again today. Very aggressive selling happening right now on HIMS, Sharif. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Great, Ob. I wanted to talk about this. I found a really interesting thread on X. Joseph asked me a fantastic question yesterday, and he's like, basically, look, bro. He's like, look, MSTR has been selling off ridiculous amounts right now. At what level are they going to get forced possibly into a forced liquidation? So let's talk a little bit let's talk some of the numbers. So let's look at it right here. We're going to go this step by step. So MicroStrategy currently holds, as of yesterday, this is 499,096 Bitcoin, totaling based on yesterday's price anyway, $43.7 billion. The average cost that they have, 66,350. So here is the question we are getting. What happens to MSTR if Bitcoin falls significantly below their average entry price? So let's talk a little bit about that. So let's begin by stating that this isn't the first time liquidation is mentioned. MSTR has been buy Bitcoin for years, and there have been multiple bear markets since then. That includes that 2022 bear market when Bitcoin essentially fell from 70,000 to 15,000. But is it different this time? So let's talk first about this. MSTR strategy is largely contingent on their ability to raise more money, right? They keep getting more money, they buy more Bitcoin. So in a situation where their liabilities rise significantly higher than their assets, this ability could obviously deteriorate. They don't have the ability to raise more money because they're in debt. However, this doesn't necessarily mean, though, a forced liquidation. So why do they need the ability to raise capital? Because it's their entire business model, right? Essentially, one, they borrow money through that 0% convertible note that they give everybody. They're not paying a coupon on that. And then number two, they buy Bitcoin, which obviously drives the price higher. Then they sell new shares at a premium and buy more Bitcoin. Essentially, repeat. This is the crucial point. So currently, MSTR has about $8.2 billion of total debt. Juxtapose that $8.2 billion in debt to the $43.4 billion worth of Bitcoin. They have a leverage ratio of around 19%. As seen below, most of the debt is held in these convertible notes, with the conversion price, notably here, very important, below the current share price. That was their strategic move here, to make sure that the convertible price, the price that you can convert the convertible note to, was less than what the share price was. Currently, that may not be. Is there breaking news? Yes. Okay, go.
Sorry for the interruption there, Sharif, but we have comments from both Trump and Fed's Bostic. I'll start with Trump here. Donald Trump saying that the Canada and Mexico tariffs will, in fact, go into effect April 2nd. So holding strong with those tariffs. We are getting that also, though, Fed's Bostic speaking here, saying that the Fed's rate policy is restrictive and that it needs to stay restrictive. So more comments suggesting we're not going to get a cut for a while here, if at all, in 2025. Fed's Bostic praising the restrictiveness of the Fed's current rate policy. Guys, back to you.
Thank you very much, Adair. So let's continue what we're talking about there. So as seen below, most of the debt is held in convertible notes with the conversion price RAM below the current share price. But most of these convertible notes don't actually mature until 2028. Quite a runway there. So let's keep going. So let's take a look at their credit agreements on this debt. Just about the only way a forced liquidation could occur if there's a fundamental change of the company. This could require MSTR to liquidate Bitcoin holdings as an early redemption is called on the note. So here's the term. So this is what's actually in the contract for these convertible notes. The contingency is that this doesn't actually happen. MSTR's existing convertible bonds have relatively attractive time frames. But if the company undergoes what they call a fundamental change, whatever that means, investors can call their convertible bonds early by about 12 to 18 months. For example, the $3 billion convertible notes issued in last November 2024, they mature on December 1st, 2029. It states the following: holders have the right to require the company to repurchase for cash all or any portion of their notes on June 1st, 2028 at a repurchase price equal to about 100% of the principal amount of the notes to be repurchased, plus any accrued and unpaid special interest to be excluding the repurchase price. If the company undergoes, this is the important part, the fundamental change thing. If the company undergoes a fundamental change as defined in the indenture prior to maturity, subject to certain conditions, holders may require the company to repurchase the notes at a price of principal plus interest. So what exactly is a fundamental change? How can that occur to force them into liquidation? So as seen below, this Epoch venture capital company released this part of their because I guess they were one of the people that raised or gave money to raise. A shareholder approval is needed for the liquidation or dissolution of the company. Effectively, for liquidation to occur, there would first need to be a stockholder vote or a corporate bankruptcy. This is really interesting stuff, man. If you guys are going to invest in Bitcoin because MSTR buys so much, or if you're going to invest in MSTR, you got to know this stuff. So the advantage of MicroStrategy here is that they have bought time by kicking the can down the road. However, what if these convertible bonds remain below the conversion price at maturity? That begins in 2027. For this to happen, Bitcoin would need to fall well over 50% from the current levels and remain there. So you can kind of look juxtaposed there, the coupon price versus the maturity date and the amount of Bitcoin held at that level. So Michael Saylor was asked about the liquidation recently. His answer was that even if Bitcoin fell to $1, they would still not get liquidated. I don't believe that. They would just buy all of the Bitcoin. While this sounds good in theory, the convertible note holders cannot be forgotten. From a technical viewpoint, obviously, forced liquidation of MSTR is not necessarily impossible, but it's highly unlikely, this article goes on to say. This is particularly due to the way the convertible notes are structured and multiple price variables at play. It would need like a Mayday situation in order to occur. It keeps going on, but I don't want to belabor the point anymore. The point is, the theory is that forced liquidation is an unlikely event, but we've seen unlikely events happen before. So let's not, get carried away with how strongly we feel about things, and let's be objective about the whole thing. But I want to mention that because Joe asked a fantastic question yesterday that I didn't have the answer to. So I did a little bit of digging there, Obe. What do you got?
Yeah, some solid research there, Sharif. Again, these things I think are important to keep in mind, especially if you're going to form trade ideas in and around some of these strong tickers that have a lot of their book kind of invested in Bitcoin. MSTR is a great example of that. Market taking a little bit of a quadunk here. I don't know what's happening, but some strong selling coming in here. So let's see where the Nasdaq is headed to. 21,300. Yeah, it's probably something there. So let's see what Adara has to say.
We got this a couple of minutes ago, but it wasn't really moving anything. Now, though, it seems like it is. So Donald Trump saying that there will be EU tariffs here, 25%, saying that these 25% tariffs will be on autos and, quote, other things. So car tariffs and other things tariffs here for 25%. He also said that the EU can try to retaliate on tariffs, the implication being that they will likely reciprocate here in the U.S. So Donald Trump issuing 25% tariffs for the EU on cars and other unspecified items. Guys, back to you.
Maybe some Ford, maybe some GM, maybe some EVs. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see what's moving. Let us know in the chat if you guys observe anything moving aggressively, maybe on that news. Let's take a quick look at what Tesla is up to here. Tesla still kind of holding. I think somebody in the chat is talking about, how Tesla can potentially come back into VWAP. What's holding that VWAP underneath that VWAP as of right now? We talked about that 300 level being a little bit of a level of interest. We can see, again, a lot more orbit in and around that level as of right now on Tesla. Let's take a look at what else? Yeah, GM. I know GM. They had that dividend news in the morning with I think it was a 6 million buyback, something like that. 6 billion share, $6 billion share buyback program in effect on GM. Nice little opening drive on GM, giving you that move all the way up into 50. Absolutely beautiful. A little bit of a pullback here, holding underneath VWAP as of right now. The markets did get kind of sold off on that push there, that volume that did come in. Let's see what we got going on here with some of these Mag 7 tickers here. Softy with a little bit of a curl. Alphabet heading right down to its lows there, Sharif. So let's put some eyes on goggle here as it pushes down to the downside here. 172.90 is the day low. Yesterday we were looking at 175s, man. Absolutely wild. So we kind of hold that prior day's low, prior day kind of consolidation, chop. 176s can't really get through there today, and now we're trading a little bit lower, kind of fulfilling and continuing that trend that's been happening here on Google. Again, looking at it on a higher time frame on the hourly, we can see kind of selling off, especially since the quadunk that happened off of earnings there on goggles. So one to keep an eye on for sure, headed towards its current day low, 172.90 there, Sharif. So it's making a beeline for that. And with the market coming in as well, let's see if we get the right kind of tailwind to take us to the downside here. A lot of these tickers maybe potentially taking a little bit of a pullback. So relative strength is what I'm asking. Who is relatively strong? We saw that Amazon was pretty strong there, a bit of a held, bid on top of 116 halves, 116 40s on top of VWAP on Amazon. So we're coming right back into some of those levels. Let's see if this level continues to hold as support here on Amazon as well. So let's see what else is strong. Nvidia, okay, yeah, of course, Nvidia. Let's see how much of a pullback Nvidia is taking off of that news. Chop, 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 a lot of consolidation. Again, don't forget, we have earnings today after hours on Nvidia, so I do have eyes on it to see how it's setting up on the day, but nothing too crazy in terms of trade ideas just yet, but a bit of continuation worked well off of the open if you were looking at that 130 price, that 130. Definitely a little interesting. I was talking about yesterday, 129, bit of an over-under level. Guess what, Sharif?
Yes, sir.
129 held as support in the pre-market. 129 held as support off the opening range lows. And then we hold VWAP on top of 130. So definitely acting and showing me that, yeah, sure, if I have the idea of 129 being a little bit over-under, does the price action confirm that kind of bias? Yeah, as of today and yesterday, yeah, a little bit of confirmation there. But Softy as well. We talked about Softy was consolidating near its highs. Look at this curl. Oh boy, can we get down to this consolidation low? 401.70 is only about 20 pennies away from that on Softy. So let's see if this market takes a turn as we quadruple to the downside. 21,300 on the NASDAQ. Below 6,000.
Out of my mouth there.
Below 6,000.
21,300 in focus. Now we're at that 300-point level, and the volume-weighted average price on the NQ March contract is about 14 points higher. So you kind of have a bit of an overlap there with the 100-point area acting as possible support in VWAP. So keep your eye very, very much on that 300-point area. If we give it up, we could easily see 200. We rejected 400 very aggressively. I need to show you guys this. This is, I mean, I didn't have eyes on this. I was trading small caps, so I didn't see this. But look at the amount of rejections here at 21.4. We couldn't get above 21.4 if our life depended on it on any closing basis. Only breaches of 21.4 are on a wick basis on the 5. There is not one closing print here above 21,400. So we just dipped down into 21.3. And look at this. Where is the low of the day? Essentially 21.2. So we're locked in to a 200-point range here. We're about midway, trying to defend 21.3. I have my suspicions on this. Donald Trump speaking about tariffs. I think he was talking about some other stuff there with his cabinet, first cabinet meeting he's had. So, you know, he could have thrown the market a bit of a curveball right now, and we could be headed down. So I'm going to be keeping my eye on 21.3. If we give up 21.3 aggressively, I think we're going to easily probably see the low of day, if not breach it. So keep your eye out on that. We're still zigging and zagging above 21.3 right now, about at 20 points above, give or take. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm also looking at Amazon here because as the market tanked, it came into VWAP. So the low there, 216 and a quarter. We're back into 216 and a half. I don't know, man. I don't know if this is a trade for me. I don't want to be trading these large caps if I don't have to. I'd like to focus on my small caps right now with CGC continuing to trend higher. But it's really the Riley show right now, RILY. We had a trade on this earlier and then kind of didn't look at it again. It's continuing to go. And Tisha was asking me, she's like, why did you get into Riley? Like, what caused you to get into Riley? So I was telling her, I'm like, was up big on the day, Tisha. It's hugging, I should say, the 10 exponential moving average on the 5-minute chart. It's also putting in higher highs and higher lows. It's also a former runner, one that we know about, one that's shown its propensity to squeeze in the past, to make big moves. So that's why I got into Riley. I mean, it really doesn't have anything more to do with that. No information that I have about the company, obviously, that you don't have. So I'm keeping my eye on it still. It's just so strong, Tisha. That's the thing. To get in here, you're going to have to get in at the 10 exponential, and it's not even giving you that much time to get in at the 10 exponential, right? You're going to have to put your dip trades there. And the problem with trying to shadow the 10 exponential moving average on the 5 is it's dynamic. It's constantly changing. So you have to keep re-entering your orders. At least that's the way our system works. I can't just drag and drop my order on the screen like you can on some other platforms. So I definitely don't mind getting into Riley. $6 right now, HOD, 604 technically HOD. Let's look at the daily here on RILY to figure out exactly where we should expect these areas of support and resistance. So as you can see, we're coming from way, way highs, and we haven't even split here. Like, this has been a downtrend, a sustained downtrend. So where are we at locally in terms of resistance? So we have this area here back in November. We got into about 6 1/4. We've already, we've cleared this area over here back on February 4th, where we got up a lot bigger. 6.25 is the next area of resistance. Then you have to look for that $7 area. So we have a 604 high. So realistically speaking, if we get above 6, we could see easily a squeeze into 6.25. Whether or not we do, an entirely different story. So Riley, yeah, this is the chart pattern on Riley. So this is not a glowing endorsement for a buy and hold overnight, okay? Look at the chart pattern. It's down and to the right. So there's an intraday trade only, at least for me. So we'll keep tabs on this one. Very interested in picking it up off the 10 exponential moving average on the 5. Currently, the 10 exponential moving average on the 5 at 568. So we've got a 2-candle ret set up right now on Riley. Let's throw something on, man. Let's throw a small share size at it, at least get involved. And then if it breaks up to the high side, we can get more involved. So let's go ahead and sit at 70s. Right there, we'll look for a dip trade there, and then we'll figure it out. And we can add to the position if it continues to go in the money. CCG continuing to hang out there. I'm all done with my Donald Trump trade. We're out of that one as it's become awfully consolidative. But one thing I want to mention about DJT, and not a level, again, not an indicator, I should say, that I typically use with these small cap gappers, but DJT, for whatever reason, is very much respectful of the 20 exponential moving average on the 5. That is the yellow line on my chart. So the green line, not so much. It respected it when it was moving up. Now, as the trend kind of fizzles out a little bit, it looks as if the lower lows, or sorry, the higher lows are all bouncing off that 20 exponential moving average. So DJT is still in focus. It's not up that much, 5.88%. Surafel, Buell King. All right,
I read that.
Sharif, you're underestimating Obi in this pun challenge, bro. LOL. Look, man. Look, bro. In the beginning of the show, when he dropped a hot one, I said I want to put chips on Adara and on Obi. And then I felt, no, you're being a wiffle waffler. You chose Adara. You're sticking with Adara. My money stays on Adara. That doesn't mean Obi is not any good.
No.
It doesn't mean that.
That's fine. You don't want to change your bet. Yeah, it makes sense. I like it. We'll see what happens if and when that does occur here.
Happen, baby.
We'll see. Market is what I'm watching right now, is what I'm seeing, and we're taking that strong flush did come in. Let's see if we continue. I'm watching that 21,300. That's a little bit of an interesting level for me here on the day, and coming into it on this current 15-minute candle. We just started printing this 15-minute candle, Sharif. So.
Okay.
Should be interesting. Let's see where we go in. A lot of that consolidation. Again, like I said, we consolidated in that area for over a couple of hours, over multiple 15-minute candles here on both the Nasdaq and the ES, and finally we crack that range. We break the lows of that range for a little bit of a pullback here, and I don't really have much else on watch. Bud apparently is working beautifully there as it continues to hold some of those prices, some of those highs from before there on Anheuser Bud. Lemonade, still watching that one. Even with the market coming in, Sharif, Lemonade does not want to crack this 31 level. So absolutely strong here on the day is Lemonade. XPEV as well, a little bit of a push here above that 22 level coming in. So gonna keep eyes on that one as well. Let's see what that one has in store for us. 2210s, again, very, very strong on the day today, very aggressive. We're breaking back above some of that anchored from earlier as well. But something else I'm watching, obviously, if I'm trading XPEV, is FXI again, kind of the China large cap ETF again, but a little bit more closer to the move there on that FXI would be Alibaba or something like PDD. You can see that Alibaba's trading a little bit lower. We've lost that bid from the morning on Alibaba. PDD, let's take a look at that one as well. Oh boy. This is the one I should be shorting, Sharif. Look at this PDD move. Absolutely wild to the downside. Pretty crazy there. VWAP hold for multiple times just off of the open once again, going into 10 o'clock, and then a couple more times during the midday session as well, holding that VWAP, giving us that push to the downside here on PDD. So it seems like China, a little bit of a sell-off there happening on some of these China tickers. So I know there's one more that I might be missing. I think it might be Billy there. So let's take a look at what Billy is up to. So Billy also trading near its day lows here. So yeah, XPEV looking a little distinctly different here on the day, kind of bidding up and holding its consolidation near the highs there. So relative strength on XPEV when it comes to some of these China tickers here as well. So let me know in the chat, what are you guys saying? What are you guys talking about? Nvidia, says Stevenson. So let's take a quick look at Nvidia. Is that rolling over like the market? Not. We looked at it a few minutes ago. It was still holding within this range, starting to look a little bit weaker. Let's see if we can get down into that VWAP. Some of these opening range highs coming in with a little bit of confluence with VWAP there. 131.60s, 131.40s is VWAP on Nvidia. No idea if we can get back up there, get back down there, but the market coming in for another leg down. We can see that we just did another retest, Sharif, of that 21,300. So yeah, let's see if that second bar, that 15-minute, brings us to the downside. Oh boy, are we coming in? Some fresh lows there relative to prior bar on the 15, both on the ES and the NASDAQ here. So yeah, let's see. What are you guys saying? Yasin saying I'm big Billy. Yeah, Billy is very directional on the day. Some of these China stocks definitely selling off pretty aggressively, but Nvidia not so much. Let's take a look at Softy as well. That one was relatively strong. So yeah, a little bit of a curl. We did break that. Oh boy. So we did break that consolidation low there at 401.80s, trading at 401.40s currently. So a little bit of a pullback on some of these Mag 7 names. Google has not hit its day low just yet. We were talking about if this selling continues to happen, can we hit that day low? I think it's headed straight for it, but we got to see what the market does. If that pulls us a little bit lower, then yeah, we definitely have some tailwind to get into those 173s, low 173s. 172.90 is the current day low, but you can see that bid that came in pretty aggressively in the morning off of that beautiful reversion on Alphabet there. And let's take a quick look at Amazon as well. Amazon, oh boy, there's the reversion on Amazon, breaking below.
VWAP dip trade,
yeah,
thank goodness.
So I was like, okay, well, we're consolidating sideways. We've lost the bid from the morning, and if the market comes down as well, yeah, maybe this 16.5 could be a potential area to look for some execution. And oh boy, we came down over about 60, 70 pennies off of this consolidation area here on Amazon. So that one is pulling back in. Let's see if that can get back in. But yeah, beautiful V-shaped reversion yesterday. Very strong off of the open again today. Let's see if it can lose some of that strength as Apple as well. Oh boy, Apple. This is the one we're not looking at, Sharif. Lower highs, opening drive to the downside. Lower highs, making a bit of a flat bottom as of right now. Double bottom.
Don't do it,
21.46. 20 pennies away. There's that leg on both the NASDAQ and the ES. Oh boy, Sharif, are we about to go green to red? It seems like it.
On the future?
On all the things.
On all the things. Okay, guys, we're back involved in rally. Very pleased with my entry over here. Right at 70s, we scalped up into 85s. It's zigging and zagging right now. I've moved up my stop from the $0.50. I've now put it to prior bar low. Where's that prior bar low at? 62s. So it's going to have to hold up this area over here. This was a 10 exponential moving average on the 5 trade. Okay, it did spike, and thankfully I had resting orders there, as I've talked to you guys about multiple times. These ones are around for a good time and not a long time. So have your orders out there ready to take profits, especially if you're old and decrepit like me and you can't get the orders in fast because you're aging. I mean, there's nothing I can do about that, right? So that's what we're involved in right now. RILY, I've wet my beak into 85s. Now I'm waiting at 88s. Boom, it's showing me 87s. Show yourself. All right, here we go. We're going to wait until we get the print, or we're going to move it down a skosh over here on this bad boy, showing me 87s again. Okay, well, I'll wait. I'm just going to wait. So we'll pack our patience on that one. Showing me 84s. Yeah, it's continuing to zig and zag. There it is. There's the print. Pack your dang patience. We get the 88 prints. Now we're going to set up a little bit closer to 6. So, yeah, we're going to set up in the mid-90s. You know, we're going to try to catch that pop into the whole dollar. RILY, Tisha. is the gift that keeps on giving. It is higher highs, it is higher lows, it is giving you predictable entry points if you are to see where it's shadowing. Obi talks about this all the time, that magnetic effect that the price action seems to have with these moving averages. Sometimes it's a 20, sometimes it's a 10. I know Obi charts on the 15, so whatever time frame it's on there. So keep your eye on this one. Here we go. We're close to my my exit. I'm waiting at 96s. It just showed me 94s on the ask. It's about a 1-2 penny spread, so it's not that tough of a situation right now. But I do anticipate, obviously, the resistance level coming in at the whole dollar, right? We got a 6 rejection earlier in the day. It stands to reason that we at least dance with that whole dollar a little bit before, it ends up getting filled. 95s now showing up on the ask. We're waiting at 96s, so we're going to pack our patience and see if we can get that print. Hopefully sooner rather than later. Good look right now on RILY. Let's look at the other one we're involved in right now. This one is, boring me to no end. But it is putting in higher lows. That's what keeps me in the trade and not flattening out. I'm talking about CCG. Essentially higher lows all day. Every area trough has been a little bit higher than its predecessor. Does that continue forever and ever more? Probably not. Right? So when do we know we're overstaying our welcome? I'll submit to you when we get that lower low. So if we break that, let's see where the previous area low was, $1.32. So this area over here, if we breach that $1.32, then we are no longer in that trend of higher lows, higher lows, higher lows with that flat top essentially at $1.40. I'm talking about CCG again, guys, kind of an innocuous name, but one that, showed up on my chart and looks good, on my scanner, and looks good. The new tickers are up. You put Chinese ADRs, I love that, because I didn't put it that way. All right. Was that you, Andre, that put it in? Yeah. I know you had to filter that. It's okay. I get it. All right. So shout out to Andre, man. Absolutely killing it on the ones and twos, man. That guy's a hard worker, put it that way.
Oh, yeah.
So we're involved right now. Riley and CCG. Obi, he is the one killing. What's up?
Yeah, no, I'm kind of just sitting back here, right? The market's getting very directional. I have a couple positions on. I'm looking for the next trade, but have Spider on watch as well. Spider 600 was a bit of an over-under level for me, and take a look at this, Sharif.
Yes,
599.58s can't even get up to 600 on the Spider, and we're taking an aggressive pullback here. Now, sure, some volume coming in off of Trump comments as well, but price action is the price action, and we have volume coming in with some pullback, some selling coming back down into the opening prices here. So yeah, very strong bid that came in off the open. Maybe people were, even today I was like, oh wow, this is a distinctly different action that we've been getting over the past couple of days. We've been selling off right off of the open, and today we bid up. But guess what? That sellers are back on the table, Sharif, as they come and dip their toes into the market. I have no idea, nor do I really care. The question becomes, can I participate?
That's what I want to hear, man.
Do I want to ask?
Yeah,
if I'm too busy asking why is this happening,
you're gonna miss the trade.
I'm gonna miss the trade. Like that's not my job. My job is to extract the edge from the market there, or extract some things from the market as well. So 95.10s is the day low on the Spider, and I got it on watch right here. Both futures and the Spider taking a little bit of a pullback here. I want to know if we can crack that day low here on SPY and see what else comes in with that here on the day today. Again, strong bid up yesterday as well on the Spider. That thing reverted as well. We got a bottom at 589s on the SPY, and then we pushed back up, reverted a decent chunk of the move, over 50% retracement by the time we got into the closing session yesterday. And today, yeah, we get that continuation. We get that continuation of that reversion that we had on the Spider, but selling stepping right back in. Guess where? Underneath that 600 mark right here. So again, why is that? Why do I like that 600? Why do I think that's a little significant? Because sellers showed me. On Friday, we sold off from 611s, all the way down to a 600 chop. A whole day where Spider sold off over almost 2%, 1.8% to the downside, and 600, a lot of consolidation, a lot of volume selling happening there. So I'm like, all right, 600 is where we found liquidity after a strong sell-off on a day where we sold off almost 2% on the spider. So coming in the next day, I want to know what we do with that 600. Failure to follow through, goes to 602s, can't really come in, pushes back down. The next day, 598s, doesn't even catch a bid, can't even go through pre-market highs. Pulls back in, 598s all the way down to 589. So yeah, a little bit of supply sitting there. And coming in today, once again, confirmation of supply potentially sitting at that 600 mark on the spider. So let's see how much further this thing is gonna fall down the spout here. 595.10s incoming, Sharif, and the Nasdaq about to go a little green to red. So yeah, let's take a look at Google. Did that get down to its low? Google.
Get down.
Google is 3 pennies, current low is 3 pennies above the day low. Apple broke day low there. Nvidia finally catching a little bit of a pullback. Tesla as well. Tesla, and a lot of people involved in Tesla. So Tesla coming back in to those, to its day lows, but that sell-off was quite aggressive all the way down to 294s. And we got that reversion to VWAP. So what more can you ask for here on this day today? A lot of opportunities. Is anybody short is the question. Yeah, Stevenson saying liquidity sweep on SPY. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have the right kind of flow to see if there was sweeps that came in on that as of right now. But keeping an eye out on this market to see if we can catch some more selling continuation, bigger picture. We've been selling off for multiple days. Bit of a strong action off the open, but like I said, they're coming right back in.
Yeah, we lost 21.3, Ob.
Yeah.
So that's an important level in my humble estimation here on the NQ March contract. We were talking a little bit about that before we started going back and talking about these small. So 21.2, guys, in focus now. This could be a 50-point short from where we're currently trading. We were talking about 21.3 defending. That didn't defend. So we were talking about how we could easily see 21.2. That's where we defended this morning. The lows there, right at the implied balance low, was 21,189. I submit to you that 21.2 is going to come in fast and furious. We're only like 30 points above it right now. So this looks like a killer short on the market. This, I think it really should have been set up by this what we call the wick shimmy dance with that 21.4 area. Unbelievable. I mean, how many 5-minute candles have to reject on 21.4 here? And what's really operative for me was none of the closing prints could actually get above 21.4, where you get that wick in and then the sellers go, no, you don't. Come right back down. And then it ended up tanking multiple times. The best we could do as well was 21,409. I mean, 9 points above a key level. I mean, that's saying a lot. So the market coming in fast, furious. You got a couple of names right now at VWAP. You got Meta at VWAP. You got the soft one as well at VWAP, and Nvidia coming in right into that VWAP area. I want to say it breached it by a skosh. 131.50 seems to be where VWAP is. It's printing high 30s, low 40s right now. Also, in addition to Microsoft coming into 400 on VWAP, yeah, that's that $400 level. Microsoft could lose 400. Microsoft has been, it's been a tough, I want to say year and 2 months for Microsoft, man. Let's have a look at this daily chart here. I'll take off these pivot points because they kind of distort the price action. But ever since we made all-time highs, I want to say in late 2023, it has been a tough road for Microsoft. Where are my studies? There we go. Let's take off pivots, apply OK. Yeah, so we made all-time highs, I want to say, in mid-2024. So I stand corrected in that July 2024 area. But we kind of like have been just in this range, it feels like, since essentially 24 onwards, with this $400 acting as a key area of support for Softy. Now, this area over here where we clearly breach all the way down to 365, that's Black Monday. That's August 5th. That was the unwind of the year and carry trade. So I'll submit to you guys that's a bit of an anomaly. It's 400 here. That's been an operative support level on the soft one. It's not a strict level, like you can't pick it up off 400 and expect it to bounce off. It's breached it. But like again, like we've talked about, use that 3% rule or that 3-period rule below the close of that key technical area of support. So what I mean is, if you're charting on the daily, look for 3 consecutive daily closes below 400 to say that the level's been breached. It's not a perfect rule. Sometimes it fails, but it'll put the ball in your court. It kind of, helps increase the chances of success. The other part of that rule, or the other type of rule is that 3% rule. You're looking for a close 3% below that area of technical support. That's not my rule. That's John J. Murphy's rule in the technical analysis of these financial markets. You know that. You've read that book front to back.
Of course,
so I know you know that very, very, very well.
I always go back to it, like, you know, the beautiful thing about books, man, is like when you read them again,
you get
throughout your journey as a trader or even in life, you have a different perspective.
Well said,
you tackle that information, that knowledge with a different perspective, and maybe you catch something you didn't notice before, or maybe you interpret something in a different light from before. So yeah, there's certain books that I kind of reread every year, and John Jay definitely one of those books. Now I don't remember everything off the top of my head, but again, it's a good refresher as well. And yeah, a few books are definitely like that for me. Wow, the ES came all the way down. So Spider definitely breaking through that day low, catching a little bit of wiki action as of right now. Let's see if we get that continuation here on the Spider. But yeah, markets came right back in. So bit of a pivot, or not a pivot, bit of a point of interest here on the ES as we move from green to red on the day, and it's only 1 o'clock, Sharif. So it's like, all right, well, you know, we still have a few more hours left in the trading day. I didn't hear any bell just yet, and we're wiping out pretty much half of the day's price action there. So a little bit of a shake and bake. So technically, we've gone nowhere since the open. But yeah, let's see if some of that continuation comes in here and maybe gives us some tailwind for some of these shorts. So we were talking about some of those day lows getting tested on a few of these tickers here. You know what's interesting, Sharif? You know what's been selling off since before even the Spider just now is XLP. A lot of the staples. So we saw staples have been running for the past few days.
Have been.
And a little bit of a pullback yesterday, but XLP is straight to the downside. So opening near the highs, pretty much at the lows as of right now. 81.97 is the day low. 82.12 is currently trading here on XLP. So it's a nice strong trend to the downside as staples sell off there. So a little bit of a pullback here on that run up on XLP. So some sectors still kind of moving around here a little more than others. Wow, oh my God. Remember where I was talking about TLT, bro?
Yes, sir.
So look at what
How's she doing?
TLT, oh boy.
Oh, up and to the
So
right.
up and to the right on TLT as of right now. So some strength coming into these bonds. So that continuation on a higher time frame definitely happening here on TLT as well. So some solid stuff. What are you guys saying in the chat? Let us know what tickers you guys are watching. Tesla we looked at. I know Tesla, a lot of people have eyes on that. We know a lot of people have eyes on Nvidia as well. I know I was watching Nike. So Nike as well, kind of a bigger picture trend happening there on Nike. Taking a little bit of a consolidation today, a little bit of a breather, even with some of these staples pulling back. We see Nike holding its own. So let's take a quick look at that chart here on Nike. The markets are tanking to the downside, and Nike just kind of chop. It has been in a downtrend since then. But let's see if we can take out some of this day low. What do I mean by Nike's been on a bit of a run? Well, look no further than the 30-minute chart. You can see that off of these lows where we broke down all the way down to 68. Since then, that's about at the beginning of February 10th, we start to break that trend and start to catch a bit of a bid to the upside. And we're getting that continuation day after day. Some days are consolidative days here. We saw that happen here on the 24th, as well as yesterday on the 25th. Today, some more happening as well, but a step up there, a stair-step consolidation potentially happening here. So it's like steps up, gaps up, consolidates, does nothing all day. Steps up, gaps up, consolidates. So on the daily, this looks much nicer as a trending ticker here. Sure, it's not giving you as much opportunity on the intraday, but take a look at this beautiful trend, Sharif, that we've been having since those lows and breaking some prior levels here as well on Nike. Just doing it. What's up, Adara?
Keep an eye here on Amazon. I'm seeing some reports here from Down Detector suggesting roughly 10,000 reports of Amazon shortages or outages, I guess, right now in the U.S. So Amazon dealing with some outage issues right now. AMZN on watch. Sometimes this can have a little bit of an impact on the stock. Also, we did get that 7-year note auction coming through here. So the high yield coming in a little bit lower than the previous. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Adara. Yeah, Joseph, I'm sending you something. Have a watch on this, brother, because this is interesting. I can't even see contact with the head there. So, yeah, a lot of people talking about that fake knockout. We're talking about that Jones guy that fought on Friday. I can't show it, obviously, for copyright purposes, but it's an interesting look. Guys, I'm still involved in a couple of trades here. We got the ad on CCG right at that $1.30 that I wanted to get. Now it's back up to that $1.34. We're break even on it. We got a couple of more shares on this bad boy. Let's see if it wants to continue heading above that $1.40 area. It's had all sorts of trouble with the $1.40. So CCG in focus. We're still holding on to a piece as well of RILY. Best print I had at 90s. Now I'm waiting in front of 6. RILY kind of stagnated, I want to say, a little bit there at that $5.70. Maybe, right around $5.70, but it's trying to make higher lows here with every incremental kind of wick on the 5 being a little bit higher than its predecessor. Here it goes right back into that high 80s area. I'm waiting at 96s, looking to front run it there. But let me tell you something. If Riley breaks 6 and breaks it with volume, like aggression, like squeezing above a level, like it's shorting, it's taking out shorts, I'm going to get into this above 6. And the reason is Riley has an insane short float. Okay, now this could be up to 2 weeks old. 54.98% of the 16 million share float is borrowed for short. So wherever these shorts are hanging out, they better hang on for dear life, because this thing is up almost 41%. It's higher than it was a few days ago. So I'm sure likely some shorts already got squeezed out of this. And so maybe that 55% is a little bit lower. You know, things change every second, right? I mean, a new position could have been put short, obviously, since we got that data, or, as we get up and take out more of these price levels to the high side, that short percentage drops as people are forced to cover. Wow, the bottom just dropped off Riley. That's crazy. Look at this. It's zagging, but it's still not stopping me out because I have my out right below this area. And that's why you use prior bar low. Shout out to Adara, who's been using that. Good look, good recovery off that area. So it dips into 563. I had my out below 563 for 562 prior bar low. Not rocket science over here. And it didn't stop me out. And right back into that 5 3/4 we go, despite the fact that we were knocking on the door of 90. So let's pack our patience. Let's see what Riley has to offer over here. But it is getting a little bit interesting here on Riley. Very consolidative area. And this creates opportunities for shorts, right? You're in that consolidative phase. You don't have to be, you're not in fear of getting squeezed, right? Because you're not making any higher highs and higher lows. So shorts could start working their position in here. So unless we can get a decisive break and take of 6, I'll submit to you that it could get awfully dicey in this kind of $5.70 to $6 range, where we have been consolidating for the better part now of an hour. I want to say, yeah, exactly an hour there. Started consolidating there at 560. This is the kind of volatility you have to deal with these small cap gappers. It drops into 560 and then quick as you like, right back into 580. Right? So you place your stops strategically, not where, it feels good, or, or this is the max that I can take in terms of a loss. Well, if you do that, great. Okay. You don't end up getting rinsed, but you end up getting stopped out prematurely, and you're probably going to be a bit more upset than you would have been. Get it, Adara. So that's what we're looking at there. What's its name though? CCG is now losing VWAP. And I'm losing my patience on this one, right? So if this breaches that $1.25, it's over. CCG, don't want to give too much back on this, $1 stock that's doing bupkis here, Ob. I want to also mention that Donald John Trump did lose 25, the $25 level, but it was able to reclaim it super quick. I'm not going to punch in on Donald John Trump over here because it's kind of doing lower lows and lower highs, and that ain't the jam. But if it wants to do these hammer candles, these doji candles, that breach 25 only to subsequently make higher highs and higher lows, I will be game. I will be punching back into Donald John Trump, but it has to prove to me that this $25 is a level of a note. Otherwise, I want no smoke. Shout out to Stevenson. Thanks, Sharif. Printed 34 100%
Let's go.
on SPY. Round to top. My man is printing cash. Shout out to my man over there. Stevenson, 199 super chat. Thank you very much, my man. Hope you're printing up. You know what I'm going to say. Printing up that storm. People want the playmaker. I'm mistaken. My bad, bro. My bad. Yeah, when you're not on the show, it's hard to remember. All right, let's get to that. Let's get to that order of business. Joseph, you ready?
I'm ready. Bro.
We're ready. All right. You can stay over there. I'll do it. I'll just yell out the levels for you, Joe.
Oh,
So
no, I don't have that view. I'm not ready.
you stay ready, bro. You stay ready. All right. Here, I'll write it down. Anybody got a pen? You got?
Yeah, I got a pen. I got a pen
Thank
right
you.
here.
I
I got
appreciate it. Just
right,
pass
there you
that
go.
pen.
Let's write some of that down.
I can write it on the
All
back
right.
here. So don't worry about it, Ram. Yeah. 595.34. We're getting in at 595.34. So that's the entry. And then we're going to get stopped out. So the stop goes 594. Your pen sucks, Obi.
I just found it on the desk. It was sitting right here.
It's
bro.
Joe's pen. I should have known.
Come on.
All right, profit taking, Ob. We're taking it out at 597.
Okay. All right.
34. So that's I'll submit to you that's going to be a hard row ho because well these markets be down today.
Oh yeah. I mean you're looking long is what you're saying. So you're asking for a bit of a reversion off of these prior lows here. Yeah, maybe. I have no idea what the market's going to do, man. I'm just trying to react to it. But as of right now, we're looking like it looks like we're trading below those opening range lows, or we're attempting to get there on a lot of these names here. So yeah, definitely some weakness in these markets on that move. So I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm kind of chilling, not really watching anything other than Lemonade and XPEV. If you guys want to bring my attention to any other tickers, you guys let me know, and I'll take a look at that. I got Tesla on watch as well. Tesla made a pretty distinct bottom this morning at that 294.24 mark, and then we're coming right back into some of those levels here. So yeah, EVs definitely on watch as Tesla looks to break that opening range low as well as morning session day low, whatever you want to call it. Maple Bear giving us that continuation. CART is coming down to the downside as well as of right now. But Lemonade not really doing too much, man. Like Lemonade's still consolidating underneath that 31 mark. So it has not pulled back with any sort of significance since we've been kind of looking at it, watching it for a potential reversion there. And similar story here with XPEV. So I think we really got to wait and see. You got to remember some of these earnings names will do what they want to do, not necessarily related to the market. Again, with that strong volume coming in, a lot of these catalysts might have their own kind of participants. We see that kind of happen with small caps, right? You see small caps totally disconnected from some of these strong market moves that we get. And yeah, some people prefer that to other action. I like both. Again, it's all about what I'm seeing and what I'm looking for, right? If I'm looking for that confluence, if I'm looking for market tailwind, then yeah, I definitely want to get involved on tickers that are following the market a little bit there, so you can get that little bit of a market push on top of some internal technicals that the ticker itself might have. Giving it some interesting pressure, but yeah, Tesla coming into the lows here. So let's take a quick look at that one here as that comes in. So Tesla, this is what I'm talking about. This is a 30-minute chart, guys. So absolutely beautiful action yesterday when we came in off of the open. Again, that 330 might have been a little bit of an interesting level, and look at that. We kind of quadunk off of that yesterday, aggressive sell-off. I don't even know how much this was relative to pre-market consolidation levels here, but sold off aggressively for the majority of the day. 10% from pre-market consolidation highs. I'm not even taking it from the actual high that happened at 5:30 a.m., but kind of that price range, just over 10% there from the high side to the lows there, closing near the lows. And today we're getting more of that continuation. So, oh boy, Tesla below 300, and I heard that Adara was talking about how it's now below that $1 trillion mark there on Tesla. So yeah, maybe some participation on using that as a potential catalyst as well. But yeah, let me know in the chat where you guys are talking about Nvidia.
I have to interrupt.
Yes, what's
Andy
up?
Jassy is on CNBC right now, guys.
Okay.
So Amazon obviously is selling off quite aggressively. It's still up 1% on the day, but it's got an aggressive downtrend. So keep your eye on Amazon right now. He's with John Fort right now on CNBC. So yeah, we'll definitely keep tabs on that. Andy, I don't know. I feel like he's like the most innocuous of the Mag 7 CEOs, right? Like, yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, when you think of Amazon, do you think of Andy Jassy or do you think of Jeff Bezos? Just be honest.
Yeah, Bezos.
Bezos. All right. Yeah. To me, it's just like I still haven't adjusted in my mind that he's still the CEO. Obviously, he was a big name to begin with. He was the AWS CEO. So Amazon Web Services, obviously the cash cow of Amazon. I don't know. I just feel like
game's in the clouds.
He's in the cloud.
I said the game is in the cloud.
Okay. Yeah. I like that. I like that, Ope. All right, we're continuing to hang on here on RILYO because it's slowing down, which is unusual because it's been quite strong on the day, quite directional, not doing much here. Let's have a look at the scanner, see if there's anything new showing up. I saw Tisha yelling about STA or something like that or another. I'm just looking at the chat over here to see what Tisha was saying. Or was that? I think that was earlier. That was the morning chat there that I saw on the big TV that we have there. We have a huge TV. It's like an 85-inch TV. You guys can't see it, obviously, because it's behind all the cameras. But we have it like in portrait mode. And we put the chat in it to see what everybody's saying, and then we kind of have the users and the subs under it as well to kind of keep everybody in check. And obviously that's our business around here. So we're always trying to grow our user base. So we've got it right there. There it is. There's Adara.
Oh, nice.
Wave Adara, and that's that monster TV. That's us over here, so you can kind of get an idea. There's the Katina man. There's Hobe. There's your boy Joe, and that's the chat right there. So that's what SYTA. That's what Tisha was talking about. But as you can see, that's from earlier in the day. So shout out to Tisha. I didn't even have eyes on that stock. Hey, I think that's old.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's old. I think that we need to.
Oh, I like that.
Did you? Nice. Okay. Ram says she refreshed it. I like how you're just moving around the camera. Why don't we use this camera more often?
That's really that's actually a really cool
great camera there.
Yeah.
Hold on. The camera that you're using right now. Well, because we could like talk from the desk into the TV. Let's do it. Oh, so you've pushed this before, have you, Ram? Ah, now I got it.
Okay, all right.
All right, well, Brendo's right there. He knows all about it. So, all right, guys, there you go. You got a behind-the-scenes look there at how everything looks like. Obviously, it's a big boy floor, and everything you see behind you here is going to be part of this. So we're very excited about that. The show is growing, and I mean, I'm personally just speaking for myself. I'm very, very, very excited and very proud to be part of this whole thing. So, yeah, that's it. What do you got over there, Obi?
Yeah, no, is it Tarak in the chat saying, Obi, the thumbnail got me. Yeah, no, it got me as well. I was laughing at the thumbnail. Joe, have you seen this thumbnail of my cropped head there?
I sent it right to him.
It looks like I've been working out for past couple of months, but
I like it. Yo, Joe was pumped about his glutes in that pic, bro. You should have seen when they put it up there.
About his glutes?
He's like, yo,
his glutes are in that picture?
No, there was another picture of him like riding a horse or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
That was AI?
Yeah. Okay, that was the AI
obviously.
one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that one was things I guess were very defined.
Oh,
I don't know, but yeah, no, it's some interesting, solid graphics there by our production team. Very solid there. Kind of. When I saw it first, I had a good laugh there, so that was pretty funny. But yeah, Tarek in the chat calling that out. But yeah. Consolidation currently at those lows. We haven't broken down any further. So let's see. Maybe that bounce on the spider is coming in there, Sharif. So maybe that playmaker play could be something there as well. But let's see what Adara has to say.
We have more graphics here ahead of Nvidia earnings. So this is going to be basically just kind of a quick primer ahead of earnings. What are we expecting? So we are looking for 84 cents earnings per share. And I want to clarify, Nvidia is weirdly a year ahead of the rest of the market. So this report is their Q4 2025 report. This is their fiscal 2025. So They're reporting, we're looking for 84 cents per share, which would be quite a bit below here, the Q4 2024 number, but sometimes these analyst estimates are based on different metrics. I just go based on what I'm seeing here. Then revenue here, we're expecting 37.72 billion here for fiscal Q4 2025 revenue. What about this move? The previous move for Nvidia was 0.5%. I just finished a graphic on these moves, and Nvidia does not move that much on earnings, but we are expecting an implied move here of plus or minus 9.2%. So if you want to get a little bit more of this look on earnings, I have a whole Nvidia infographic thread you can check out on X at TTV Research. Pretty detailed thread with a lot of different Nvidia-related graphics on X, TTV Research. Back to you.
Yeah, you.
Cameron Lum, Sharif, please look up Happy Gilmore and watch the scene where Adam Sandler is playing putt-putt and spits his ball back out of the hole. Your laugh sounds just like that. I think I did watch that movie, but it's been a hot minute since I watched it. I'll go and check that out. I'll give that a YouTube. But I was just telling Obi off camera, guys, let me just bring in the side charts over here. Microsoft is quite an interesting look. Now, I don't know if this is necessarily a day trade, but this could be a really interesting swing, especially if we pop off. Microsoft, as we mentioned, has had a prolonged support level of around $400. This goes back years. It's at that level right now. It's holding at VWAP. We haven't even gotten to 400, I think. Well, obviously, we got below there in the pre-market, but you can see how quickly this was bought up. Yeah, so 400, really interesting area here. It's not really exploding to the high side, though, and that's the thing that really doesn't have me interested from an intraday perspective. But 400, VWAP, Microsoft, the market making newer lows, Microsoft just hanging put at that level. So really interesting look right now on Softy, intraday. Yeah, that's a good look there. Let's flip back and see some of the trades that we have on currently. CCG looking like it's going to break down now. I want to talk about RILY because a lot of you guys seem to be involved with this one. Now, here's the deal. When we were at 590, right over here, there was a monster seller. So there was, number one, looks like there was a hidden buyer there, an iceberg order for sure, but there was also a decent amount of shares posted there on the ask. Not the biggest. I think there was about 1,000 lots, give or take, okay? Which is not that much for a $5, $6 name. But what was not apparent was, I think, the size of the hidden seller. And we had a lot of chop and churn, a lot of volume changed hands right there. Look at that outsized volume candle right at this level, right at 590. It's about, how many? It's about 1 million shares traded hands right there as it comes right back down. Now, let's look for that higher low. So if we continue to see these area wicks, all I see is higher low on the wicks. So I don't necessarily want to take it out just because it comes right back into that level. I've already put my stop below that 562 area. So RILY in focus, but it is coming a little bit back down now. The other trade that really is paying well, we had a trade on this one to the top side though, is SMCI. So let's look at SMCI over here because it is just continuing to bleed to the downside. SMCI was, I think, over 25% in the green. This morning, now it's about 13.5, and it looks like it's going to lose that 13%. We just printed the low of the day right now on SMCI, 51.52 LOD. We were trading this to the high side into 54s. 55s, excuse me. We got in at 53.5, and we got into 55. There you go, guys. Special market recap show today. It is the Nvidia earnings release party, baby. It's going to be the Katina Man, myself, Adara. We're all going to be doing this. Neil's going to be slapping his face at home. We hope he gets better soon. They report after the bell. Widely expected the report to come in at 4:20, but we're going to be covering this, guys, from 4 o'clock. And it's not just Nvidia reporting, Adara. We got CRM. We got Mara. We got Snowflake. There's a whole bunch of different names reporting today, so make sure to catch that with us 4 to 4:30 on the market recap show. We got all hands on deck. There it is right there. And I remember watching the earnings parties at the bar last time. There was a lot of alcohol. There ain't going to be that much alcohol here, I promise you that. We're going to be trying to focus on these here markets. So that's the look there. Or any. Well, yeah, there's plenty of alcohol in the fridge, Ram. I don't know if you had an opportunity to open the fridge lately. That's kind of like a staple on this floor. There's a plethora of alcohol at all times. Not being consumed every day, though. Only on Fridays. Adara has breaking news. We're going to her.
As we know here, we had comments from Andy Jassy. In case you missed it, Amazon making a lot of AI-related announcements right now, including the fact that they actually have their new revamped generative AI Alexa. And Andy Jassy said that Amazon's spending more money on AI than any other company. Now with CNBC, he's saying that the company has, quote, a lot of demand for AI right now. And if they had more capacity, they could monetize it. So this kind of seems concerning. It seems like they actually have apparently more demand than they're able to meet based on how he worded these comments. He also said if there ended up being tariffs, he thinks Chinese sellers will continue to sell in their marketplace. So they also said their last mile delivery service is now at least the size of UPS. And they said it remains useful to continue to have the AWS business as part of the company. So defending Amazon Web Services, of which he was formerly CEO, as Sharif mentioned, and also saying that it seems like they've got a little bit more demand for Amazon AI than they're currently able to meet. So pretty interesting stuff here from Andy Jassy, who, as Sharif was mentioning, probably one of the CEOs we know the least about. It's really hard to find photos of him smiling or frowning as someone who's looked for both making infographics. Back to you.
It's not for a lack of trying. She tried. I mean, shout out to Adara, man. She's absolutely killing it there. Great look. And shout out to Jensen, man.
Yeah.
He's like I don't know, he's like a mythical figure, you know? The dude at Denny's with his little napkin there. Now he's got a $3 trillion company, Obi.
Yeah.
And the way they got to the $3 trillion was kind of insane.
I saw a post somewhere about Denny's to 3 trillion. Is that the one you were talking about? Okay, so I saw it recently. I thought that might be what you're talking about. But yeah, what a come up there for I guess Jensen Huang and Nvidia as well. I remember the time where it was like, you know, Nvidia versus Intel versus AMD, and then Nvidia wasn't necessarily in that picture as well. And then now, basically, Nvidia is what everybody talks about, right? So it's like, okay, yeah, the come up has been real, and again, it's a use case basis, right? It's like you have certain types of chips that were leading the way. You had CPUs that were like, you know, leading the way in the latest tech, and now you have GPUs, which can do much better calculations in different ways. So yeah. Market leader nonetheless.
We're printing lower lows right now on Bitcoin.
Okay.
New low of day on BTC, 85.1. We're looking awfully close, like we're going to hit. What was that number you guys said this morning? 82? Bitcoin.
82? 75.
82. Okay, so you know we're a few thousand away. I mean, we have an overnight high of 89,370, so it's not beyond the realm of possibility that we drop another $3 here or $3,000. We're down 3% on the day again. I mean, everybody's a little bit different as to when their percentage up on the day starts calculating. My day started right over here, so this one starts right at midnight, or I believe actually. It's from over here. I don't know, man, if it's 4 o'clock or if it's midnight or what, how it calculates Bitcoin. But yeah, 85,102, new low a day, BTC. The blood's in the street here. Obviously, it's not a good look for those who are holding it. But if you're a Bitcoin believer, take these opportunities to add, but add wisely. You don't have to get in too much too quickly all at one time, knowing that $70,000 area is a real possibility. Right? I mean, we were consolidated at $70,000 for a while. We also got to 70-ish thousand back in 21 when all hell broke loose. Right? So that $70,000 area, a distinct possibility for a retracement. So just keep your eye out on that. I'll be adding incrementally, not all at once, obviously, into those areas as well. All right, let's talk about some of these other trades that we've got over here. Not much here on Softy. I'm still watching Softy to see if that $400 bounce is going to be a thing. It doesn't look like it's going to be at the moment. We're continuing to print lower lows and lower highs here on the 5 using 401 as resistance. We haven't quite actually made it down to 400, but you know what I mean, that $400 area. We just dropped into, I think, single digits there, 409, something like that. Meta's also right at that volume weighted average price, a little bit below 675. What else is at VWAP? Nvidia lost VWAP. Google lost VWAP. Apple and Tesla way below VWAP. Likewise with Amazon. It's really Microsoft and Meta right now that are holding the volume weighted average price despite the fact the market's making lower lows, lower highs. So we'll have to see if they have relative strength if we get a pop-up on the day. Let's see what everybody's talking about. What are you guys talking about there in the chat?
There's a super chat there. Rohit Sharma.
I missed it.
Rohit Sharma asking us, Previous bar low as a stop loss, 1 minute or 5 minute chart. To be honest, it's what you're trading off of, right? It's whatever you deem to be. It's not like, oh, one is right or the other is wrong. For a given trade, if you like it on the 1, you can use the 1. If you like it on the 5, you can use the 5. Whatever you're using and whatever it might be respecting could be the indication there of what you might want to use. But yeah, I think it's definitely it's up to your discretion. I would say there's no right or wrong answer. I'd say, but again, I like to look at what's holding, what's respecting, and then maybe use that as a bit of an indicator for that. What's up, Adara?
I think especially with Mar earnings after the close, as Sharif mentioned, we're going to take a look at some of these crypto stocks. They're pretty beaten up. MSTR here actually had quite the pop. We got as high as, I believe, 261. Now we're trying to hold on to 252. So MSTR, pretty weak. MARA also, they're all kind of have this basically rounded top pattern on the day. We also have Coinbase. So again, just taking a look here as we get this push lower on crypto, how are these crypto stocks doing? They all look almost identical, which is pretty rare, but none of them looking great here. It's all a story of lower highs, lower lows, and rounded tops for pretty much all of these major crypto stocks that we watch, guys. Back to you.
Yeah, the market's taking a little bit of a bounce here off of these lows. Spider way lower.
21.2.
Yeah, 21.2. I said 21.3 was going to be interesting, and yeah, interesting it definitely was. We cracked down another 100 points on the Nasdaq there. So yeah, sellers are definitely in charge in this market, and they keep showing us over and over again, day after day. So where can the question I've been asking, to be honest, as of late, especially in some of my trade reviews, is like, all right, if the market continues to sell off, what are some opportunities? What are some execution sets that I can use to get involved in some of these trades? And I think some of these opening drives have been pretty good. Some of the consolidations have been pretty good structures to base risk off of. And yeah, just the market being so directional and volatile, it gives a lot of opportunities both ways. Again, you can see a prime example of that in today's price action, the long off of the open, the reversion off of that 21,400 as well. Now we have breaking news with Adara.
Keep an eye on DraftKings here, actually getting a little bit of a pop. Basically, we do have, this initially I think came out around 1, but I'm seeing this tweet recirculate now. Apparently the chair of the New York Assembly Racing and Wagering Committee has basically filed a bill that would increase the number of online sports betting operators, basically doubling this number. They'd also decrease the tax rate from 51% to 25% by January 31st, 2027. So basically, the new head of the New York Racing Committee is not only looking to double the amount of online sports betting operators, it's looking to cut the taxes by about half, guys. Back to you.
All right, guys. Newer traders, listen up. First month, it's free. That's right. We're waiving the fees. You get to trade smarter, not harder, by upgrading to that elite trading experience. You'll be able to analyze, strategize, and then hopefully after that, you'll capitalize using their amazing platform. It's got everything. Infinite data, instant trading, lightning fast, market insights. It's got game-changing charts, and you can predict better with backtesting. It's got reliable real-time data, global markets at your fingertips, literally, all in one platform. Don't miss out now. Execute your best trades. If you're ready to elevate your trading, scan that QR code or check the link in the description of this video. Shout out to the great folks at eSignal. Obi, we are at the volume weighted average dang price.
VWAP.
Yeah, I know, right? Here on Donald John Trump. So the VWAP 24.75. We're showing 78s on the ask, 75 on the bid. I will not be punching in just willy-nilly. It's going to have to show me that it wants to hold up at this area. I've been waiting for a 25 fail. We got that fail after some consolidation area at 25, and now I'm keeping an eye on VWAP. In addition to VWAP, there is price action support at 24.60 to 24.50. I'm talking about this bull flag here. The top end of the range, you can see that the closing prints all south of that 50. The wicks go into 60. So if we do lose VWAP, I still will be interested on DJT at around 24.50 to 24.60. I won't be setting up resting orders to pick it up if it does fall into there. It will have to prove itself that it wants to hold up at that level. So I'm keeping my eye on that. Shout out to G. Castro, Sharif. When you look at small caps to trade, do you look at offering tracker? No, I do not. I know that some people will go right into the NASDAQ website, look to see what they have for a shelf offering because they're worried as hell that a secondary offering is going to come in while they're involved with the stock. That's happened. It hasn't happened to me, okay? But it's happened to other people. And I'm not saying that I did anything so special that it didn't happen to me as a form of by defense or anything like that. No, that's not. It just hasn't happened to me. But I know that other small cap traders really take that seriously. They'll look to see how many outstanding shares they have versus how many they can issue. That's absolutely a great point. Not one that I typically do. I don't know if I actually have that information on my platform. I think I'd have to go to the listing website. But great question, my man. Not one that I've been asked before. Good question there.
Yeah, I think
go
that's,
ahead.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but no, I think that's important to know, especially if you're getting involved in some of those assets that do have stuff in the pipeline. It's good to be aware of that, and you can take it the other way as well. I know that small cap swing shorts are definitely ones that pay if you can perform them effectively as well. And yeah, I think I'm forgetting the names off the top of my head, but I've been in short small caps while they've had offerings, and I was like, there's more confluence because they had offerings down the line. Right? So it's like, all right, so can I get short on this ticker? Can I manage a little bit of upside risk and swing that short, looking for them to raise, especially if it's a repeat offender, all they do is always raise. Whenever they're up a few 100%, they always end up raising either on day 2, day 3, day 4, whatever it is. Again, you'd have to. Again, this was many years ago, a few years ago that I was indulging in that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, I think it's definitely a key piece of information when you're trading some of these stocks, because at the end of the day, you have to remember, what is the market but a tool for companies to raise money, right? At the end of the day, companies will list on the stock exchange so that they can raise funds, so they can
we're losing it here on BTC.
What are we losing?
I think we just dipped into 83,338 on Bitcoin. We could hit 82, like that level that Joseph and Katina were talking about today could come in. We got a bit of a pop-up right now, though, on BTC. Yeah, everybody's yelling, BTC Hwadunk. I don't have the red. Can we hit the red animation where everything goes red, Ram, and like, yeah, the market's in full tank mode. LEB, L-buy. I don't know what it is. Sheriff. Do you think Nvidia will go higher tonight? Good question, brother. I mean,
get it, Adaro.
Get it, Adaro. It's okay. It's just a little surprise there, but everything's good. Everything's fine on this side. It's hard to tell, brother. I mean, that's just you're asking me to kind of foresee the future. If you're asking me if demand is there, seems to be a lot of demand. The wild card is DeepSeek, obviously. Oh, the gates of hell.
Oh, what's happening there?
Yeah. Look,
all right. Are you Joe? Are you in a trade over there? What's happening?
Joe's taking liberties with Neil's Stream Deck over there. He's loving his life over there. Get it, Joe.
Get it, Joe.
All right, my man.
Yes. Where is the next trade?
I mean, like, we're always asked, do you think Nvidia beats? Does it miss? This or that? I don't know if it would be wise to give an opinion, but we can give you the information that you can use to make your own opinion. Demand is there. Okay, their B200, which is their next generation chip, Blackwell, high in demand, and all. In addition to it being in high demand, it's also good for inference. Nvidia's chips have been mostly used for training. Only 40% of the inference chip market share is dominated by Nvidia. That means that there's 60% more for them to take, and Blackwell's aiming to do just that. Blackwell is good for both inference and training. Right? And those are two distinct things.
Whoa.
Say that again?
No, I'm just saying whoa to the market. I mean,
yeah,
please continue. Disregard my excitement here.
Fine. Yeah, no, for real though. So the demand is there for their chips. Whether or not the AI spend continues to go full force like we've seen it the last year and a half, that's a different story. We had the hyperscalers, I'm talking about Meta, Amazon, Microsoft. They've all confirmed how much they're spending on AI this year. 60 to 65 billion Meta, 80 billion, I believe, Softy, and then Amazon somewhere in the middle there, 70 some odd billion. And then today we got more information that apparently Meta was looking at building out a $200 billion AI data center. Should be noted, the company denied those reports and said that all the CapEx that it's earmarked for 2025 has already been disclosed in the last earnings report. That is 60 to 65 billion. So they are basically putting into question the reports that we got today about that $200 billion AI data center. So if your educated guess here has to be whether or not the demand is going to be strong enough to keep the earnings going here and to beat expectations. Because again, like Neil always says, there's no good or bad earnings. There's better or worse. There's a beat or miss. Adair is at the big desk.
With that reaction, to show you guys the new Nvidia graphic we just posted. Here is a pretty shocked-looking Jensen Huang looking at Nvidia's earnings day one changes, and it's worth noting they don't actually change that much on a percentage basis. Usually it's about up or down roughly 5%. There are some exceptions. You know, spring 2023, we got up about 25%. We closed about 16% lower back in this winter 2023, but generally we tend to move pretty much 5% to the upside or downside on earnings day one. So Nvidia is not a Tesla where you're going to get these 10% moves on average. Nvidia's average move tends to be quite a bit smaller for its earnings day one plays. Just wanted to give that context. This just covers the last 4 years, and I use the seasons rather than quarters because, as mentioned, Nvidia is a year ahead of the rest of the market in that they're going to be going into fiscal 2026. So this is a new graphic here. Check this out on X at TTV Research, unveiling all of these ahead of earnings tonight. But some of these we're going to look at again during our earnings party. Check that out tonight at 4 p.m. Eastern. We're expecting Nvidia to report at 4:20. Back to you.
Ob.
Yes,
Can I elicit you here for a task,
Sure.
if it's not too much?
Sure, what's up?
Now that we've lost 300, my man, on Tesla, what would the next level of support on the daily be? I see it 275.
I was just gonna say right off the top, yeah, off the heezy. I was gonna say 275s right away. The next quarter. Let's see the next quarter. I think that's gonna be interesting. So below that 300, 275s.
Oh,
maybe
Joe's
even
coming
lower.
at you, bro.
I mean,
Joe's coming.
Listen, the price
Joe's
action.
feeling himself over there. I like it.
The price action speaks volumes, and that bit of a downtrend coming in on Tesla. Yeah, I think we definitely have room to go lower. Are we going to go lower? I have no idea. Honestly, I have no idea.
Exactly.
But if we do, where can we potentially
There it
look?
is.
I think that might be a good place
There it
to look.
is.
Maybe we find it before, maybe we find it after. I have no idea. But again, let's see what the price action kind of does here. And I was telling Sharif, I'm like, oh boy, FXI is about to break day low as well. So that's the China large cap ETF as well. And XPEV still holding. So, all right, that's okay. Again, I have to respect the action. I got to respect the trade. But yeah, maybe it's just a little delayed. You know, that's what I like to tell myself. As long as it's working, maybe it's just a little delayed. Waiting for that to potentially come in here into VWAP. We've been making some lower highs, but still consolidating within that. Within, I would say, maybe not the. Is it the upper quartile? Yeah, it is. It definitely is. XPEV again, very, very strong on the day. You can see it right here. This is a 3-minute chart, guys. So yeah, off of the open, let's see how much percent of a pop. 8.7. We kind of looked at this a little earlier as well. So 8.7% to the highs, and yeah, prior low sitting in and around 2174. That was that last low here. So yeah, with the markets pulling back in, looking a little weak, and FXI as well. This is what I'm watching on FXI. So that's about to clip day lows. See if XPEV brings it in a little bit here. What's up, Adair? We got some breaking news.
Keep an eye here on Google, which just broke day's low and then kind of came back a little bit here. Seeing some reports on X that Google is cutting employees in its cloud division. So Google here with some cloud division job cuts. GOOGL. Back to you.
I hate to say it this way, but the market usually likes that kind of stuff. I mean, obviously, I'd never want to celebrate anybody losing their jobs, but when cost cuts come in, investors seem to be crazy about that. So keep your eye on Google for a recovery. I don't know. We'll see. Boom, boom. There it is. We take it out. Pack your dang patience on RILY. Let me celebrate for a second before you just start. Oh, Rim. All right, $6. There's the high of the day on RILY. Flat top breakout. Now keep your eye out for the squeeze. This is shorted over 50%. So now we can start squeezing here, taking out those shorts. I believe, yeah, I'm going to get back into this small share size though. If we continue to zig and zag, there we go. We had a bit of a dip. Do I take this opportunity to punch in? Wow, it gave up the entire thing. But there you go, zigging and zagging. Sorry, Ram. Allow me just 1 second here because I have to make a decision of whether I want to get back in or not. Wow, we take out the high of the day. It squeezes a lot of shorts out, but you could see the shorts reinstitute their positions, or people were just too crazy to take profits. So keep your eye on RILY. What a zigzagger, man. It takes out that level, but it spends like no time there and drops right back into that previous area of resistance, 590. That's what I always keep saying. Get your orders out. Have your resting orders there. Let them take profits for you when you're not basically looking. And let's see what may come from this. Ram, go ahead, because I'm going to have to listen to Ramina. I didn't hear what she said.
Yeah, no worries. Again, watching this market here, we are making some fresh lows both on the Spider and the Nasdaq as well. So yeah, taking a look at some of these Mag 7s once again. Apple, wow, Apple did break that day low, and look at how aggressively it's coming in, man. So absolutely beautiful. You know what hasn't broken day low just yet, but is about to? Amazon. Amazon's about to crack that low right there. Day low currently sitting at 214.20. Pre-market lows at 214.10s. Oh boy, what a nice grab there. Currently trading 214.35s on Amazon. So that one poised for a little bit of a pullback here. Let's see Apple as well, and Softy trailing behind. Wow, this is, oh my God, what a beautiful. Like you look at a chart like this. Yeah, of course, bro. It doesn't. I don't care if stocks go up or down. I care if there's a price action that I can capitalize on or learn from. You know what? Like, and a lot of price action. Again, sure, you look at it in retrospect, but I'm like, oh boy, that is a solid trade. That came in pretty nicely. And yeah, a lot of learning happens on the retrospect. So it's like, yeah, okay, cool. We see the move that happened. How can we kind of dissect this, reverse engineer this, so that if and when we do see it next time, how do we kind of participate on that kind of a push there? So yeah, beautiful selling happening on Apple. Very clean, very clear. Now again, yeah, I feel like a lot of us hold Apple in our personal. So do I. But 240s, yeah, I don't think I'm worried about a pullback from here. But we'll see. We'll see how far it gets. 200 might be a little bit of a decision-making spot if we can get down into there. But yeah, Apple with a beautiful sell-off as of right now, and you can see it on the Spider as well. What's going on, Sharif?
We got to pay a bill. All right, guys. Unlock the nuclear renaissance with foremost clean energy, leveraging one of the biggest mega trends on the planet, nuclear energy. Partnered with Denison Mines with properties strategically located in the Athabasca Basin, known as the Saudi Arabia of uranium. This undervalued company is poised to capitalize on the exploding nuclear market, and offers unparalleled growth potential. The future is nuclear. Foremost is your entry on the Nasdaq under FMST and on the Canadian Stock Exchange under FAT, or go to foremostcleanenergy.com for details. Shout out to the great folks there. Obi, I'm sorry to interrupt you, brother, but we have to pay those bills. Those are time sensitive. All right, I'm back in at Riley 92's already scalped into 6. So this one's going to have to hold 85s. I perceive 590 to be that level of resistance. So if it ends up failing, it ends up failing. I know this is a zigzagger, which is why I've given it to below 90, into 84s. I've taken out the majority of the position. I'd like for it to hold up here ideally, but if it doesn't, it doesn't. I'd like something above that 603, and then we'll hold the piece for the high of the day. But if this loses the bid, I will be getting out. I'm not going to give back anything on this trade. I'm scalped out a little bit over here, but RILY, I'm looking for it to hold 590 generally on a closing basis, not a wick basis, but knowing full well that, you know, there's such a heavy short interest in this that the shorts who are getting squeezed out may get a bit more exuberant here and want to add to their position, thereby bringing this bad boy back down. So RILY, got to have to hold 590. Otherwise, I'm Gonzino Obi, sorry to interrupt you.
No worries, man. Yeah, so XPEV finally taking a little bit of a pullback here, looking for some of those levels, kind of covering along the way. There, I did kind of aggressively size underneath that 22. You can see that I've had a couple of entries there, but again, like I said, with the market pulling back and FXI pulling back as well, I'm like, all right, well, let's see if XPEV pulls back. Sure, it has relative strength, and I don't necessarily want to fight that, but I'm trying to take some quick scalps there. On some of these moves here. So yeah, I love some of these gates. Some of these gates, you know about like gate priorities, right? So it's like certain gates will fill you before others. Some gates have more priority than others. Some cost more, cost less, and I think that has some stuff to do with priorities. And some will pay you back as well, right? So it's like, all right. The beautiful thing that I've been kind of learning and looking into as of late is like, all right, when you are kind of moving around some relative size on a stock, you can use some of those gates, priority or not, to give you information, to ping information from the market. Because it's like, if I'm using an order type which I know is going to get filled last, right? I can use a percentage of my position, throw it on that gate, and just sit there and see if I get filled.
That's a great
looking for that pull back in, and seeing if I know if I'm the last gate that's going to get filled at that price, it gives me an indication that price might go lower. Right? There aren't people stepping up in front of that gate being like, all right, well, you can't go any lower. So so I've been using kind of that to give me some more information here and there. But yeah, it's not too bad. So I was sitting on some of those gates that fill last on XPEV, being like, all right, you're not cracking lower. You're not cracking lower.
Who's your favorite gateway?
Finally starts. Arca? Arca's good. I like Memex for the memes, just because. Shout out to the members exchange, but yeah, no, Memex is pretty dope. Edge X's are pretty dope. Again, you have the whole arsenal of different gates. You can use them in different scenarios. I know Wayne is a lot more knowledgeable than I am at his gate game, so definitely,
I like that.
yeah. I know he trades foreign markets as well. Again, when it comes to the floor, gate knowledge. I would say Wayne and Neil's gate knowledge unparalleled, because
gotta agree with that.
Yeah, for sure. So lots to learn from these guys here. So XPEV coming into that prior low here. So what am I looking at? That prior low, let's see if we can hold above it or crack below. 74s is that prior low. We're trading 77, so we cracked some of this structure. We cracked that quick. Look at that wick low that we made right here, that strong wick, and then we were trading below that. Now coming into those 74s, Sharif, next stop, maybe this consolidation, 2160s, this opening kind of run up high at that 2157, and then VWAP at 2140. So let's see if we can get all the way down there on a proper reversion. But again, I'm looking at FXI, I'm looking at some of these related tickers here. There is FXI below that, coming into that day low, so getting some of that confluence with some of this action coming in here on XPEV. So yeah, you know what? I want to start covering a little bit here. I know some people would say that this warrants for an ad when you're breaking below structure, but again, some of these tickers I don't necessarily trust as much, or I'm looking for that kind of a play. But look at that beautiful FXI just trading below day lows, and the market giving us more confluence as well. A lot of people were talking about the Tesla short. So let's see how that one is doing as of right now. You know what? I will take some more off there into 75s, 2175s. I like quarters. And if you're going to give me the quarter, I'll take some off there. But yeah, Tesla, I forget who it was, but a few people in the chat, talking about that VWAP short on Tesla. Nice little double top intraday. You see that wick of that 302, can't really follow through. Holding below that VWAP, holding underneath 302s, trading below in a bit of a range here, 298s here as well. When we finally crack that, we consolidate below this consolidation and then go for another leg lower. So just leg, consolidation, leg is what I'm seeing on a shorter time frame, and then higher time frame is the same thing here, kind of down legs with consolidations in the middle here on Tesla. Okay, so AK asking about some GRR. So GRR here. Gorilla Technology Group. Did these guys even do volume, man? Okay, so they're doing 2 million
Yeah, I
on
know
the
this
day
one.
so
It's a former
far.
runner, Obe.
Yeah, I can tell right away that it's a repeat offender here on Gorilla Technology. Let's take a look at the hourly. Your question was buying it for a pop to $30. Look, man, I don't know anything about what the ticker is going to do, but what I do know is what it's done, and that's what everybody knows. Limited information that's been printed on the chart, and I'm going to say this again, will speak in volume. So let's see what's been going on there. So we had a bit of a trend in February. We talk about some of these thematic trades, right? So again, being a repeat offender, it's kind of had its ups and downs, but yeah, looking like it's been pretty nice since December, right? I haven't taken a look at this ticker in a few months, but yeah, strong run up going into January of this year. Bit of a strong pullback as well, giving it up from 25s all the way to 10s, about a 50% pullback there on GRRR. And then look at that second leg up into 34. So as of right now, what I'm seeing here right off the bat would be a little break of this trend. So we've been trending up nicely into that 34, 35 level. Couldn't really get past that 35 that much, but look at this. That trend, that support breaks, and it's the same thing as a breakout or a breakdown, guys. Like trending support and resistances are relatively similar to horizontal support and resistances. Now, sure, you can throw some probabilities on which ones matter more or less, and that's on you to put in the work and kind of measure which ones you wanna consider with a little bit more weight or not. But you can see some solid trends show up very obviously on the chart more often than not. And you can see after the trend broke here, we've been kind of aggressively selling off. So that's kind of what the chart's telling me. So what does that tell you for the probabilities of coming back into 30s? On the short time frame, I have no idea. On the long time frame, I have no idea either. But bigger time frame, this ticker has been running up pretty nicely and has been selling off as of recent on that trend break. So yeah, something to keep an eye out. But again, opportunity definitely in a lot of other places here.
Sure.
Look at the market, man.
All right,
Tanking.
guys. You see that clock? It is now 2 o'clock. It is time to send you the big kahunas. It's Joe in for your boy Neil today. It's the Katina man. They're going to be taking you through the rundown. We got a banger rundown for you guys. These markets are in free fall, but make sure you are with us after the bell today. It is the earnings party everybody's been waiting for. We're talking about Nvidia, guys. They report. We're expecting that report around 4:20, give or take, Obe. But we're going to be live right from the get-go, right at 4 o'clock. We'll see everybody then. I'll see everybody at the green screen in a minute. Take it over, boys.
See you guys.
Yes. What's going on, my guy?
You know, same old shit.
Same old shit.
Different shuffle, you know.
You know what's funny? I was gonna ask. You asked me for a coffee, and now it's roll up the wind, roll up the rim season.